Well, hey there. Hi, how's it going? Karyn Bryant with you. KB, thank you so much. Giving myself a round of applause. I'm gonna fix the camera there. How's it going? So, welcome to Fistivities. This is episode 55 of our show. Dustin Jacoby is the guest tonight. He is the number 13 UFC light heavyweight, and he is going to be fighting Khalil Rountree at the end of the month on the card on October 29th. And that should be a great fight, which reminds me, and let me look really quickly at which one it is. Khalil is actually a former guest of this show as well. And so you guys should probably want to go and check out that episode. It was actually really, really good. That is episode 26 that Khalil was our guest. So go back and look at that one. He talks a lot about going over to Thailand and training over there and his clothing line and all kinds of stuff. So great one with him, episode 26. But yeah, we're going to get to know Dustin tonight. I really don't know him much. I've seen him around, obviously, around the office when he's at work and I'm at work. And he's coming off some wins. The last time we saw him, it was Da Un Jung. He had a KO for him over him on the Ortega versus Rodriguez card. So we can talk to him about that. He trains out at Factory X in Colorado, so we can talk to him about that. But yeah, just kind of get to know him. He's a former kickboxer, had a couple of stints in the UFC, was in it, then went over with Bellator, then came back to the UFC. So been around a lot. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interesting stories about the come up and things like that. So looking forward to getting to know him. And KB, why don't you use the hit list that you made to tell everybody what's on the show? I make these things and then I get a little bit like, oh, I forgot that I did this. But hey, first and foremost, what up, JS? Thank you for the hearts. What up, Roman? Carry on. Let's go. All the best from San Antonio, Texas. Hey, very cool city. I was there a couple years ago or whatever, right before. Yeah, I guess that was before the pandemic. But that was cool. That was a cool city. Yes, that's right, Andy. 863 hello KB, the puzzle doing tuna melt making beauty. Oh, well, thank you, that's sweet. Yeah, actually, this is the puzzle that I did the other night. This is not the puzzle, this is the box that the puzzle came in. It was only 750 pieces. It wasn't that hard. It was very pretty. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't that challenging. I thought I was just going to knock one out, so I just kind of cranked that one out real fast. I usually do 1,000 pieces, but that was fun. It was good. I like that one. And for those people often ask me, what do I do with them afterwards? I basically just take them apart again. I put them in a Ziploc bag. I put them back in the box that they came in. I usually kind of tape the edges and make sure that I don't lose any pieces. I sometimes swap puzzles with people, but mostly I kind of keep them. I have a library. I'm looking at my books right here, but I kind of almost have like a library of jigsaw puzzles. There is one, I have a puzzle keeper thing. I'm a little bit of a nerd with them so that I can do them and kind of put them away if I want to. And so there is one puzzle that I have kept there in that was a thing of pencils, all kinds of pencils. And then it was in a reflective cup. And then there were pencils splayed out in front of it as well. That one was challenging. And I don't frame them or shellac them or anything like that. But that one I have not taken apart because that one was actually a little bit challenging. So anyway, hello to you folks. So thank you so much for joining us. The box said 12 years up, but I did it in 3 days. That's right. That's right. But yeah, so let me show you what is on the show tonight. So like I said, we'll have a Dustin Jacoby interview. And then what if we found out it was like Jacoby instead? And we've been saying it wrong all along, but I think it's Jacoby. We will preview UFC Vegas 62 this weekend. Our buddy, KP, you're going to have to need the class. Cub Swanson is fighting in the co-main event on that. Cubby Schwanch. And Cub is a former guest of ours as well. So you should, it's because our guest list is actually legitimately redonkulous. Okay, let me look. When was Cub on? Cub Swanson was episode 18 for the Cub Swanson. So yeah, definitely check that one out too. He's so cool. So he's going down to bantamweight. We'll talk about that. And then we will have Chidi's Choice for the main event with Alexa Grasso and Viviane Araujo. Those are the number 5 and number 6 flyweights. So we will get Chidi's prediction. Chidi is 7-1. And the last time out, Chidi did pick Yan Xiaonan to get the win over Mackenzie Dern. And he was right. So you guys really want to trust in Chidi? Somebody told me on Instagram that they put some money down, but they didn't. And I think I asked them what they made, and I don't know if I heard back. So if you guys have actually made any money off of Chidi's bets, let us know, because that's pretty cool. It's a work in progress this week while I'm home. I have some stuff I can do. I'm going to set up an email address for you guys if you ever have any, suggestions of guests that you'd like to have on, or, in case I missed the comments or whatever. So I will be setting up some email and kind of a place for you guys to send us some messages or whatever. But anyway, yeah. And so anyway, Chidi is 7-1 right now. So his record's really, really, really good. And I obviously know who he picked for this week, and we shall see. Then we wanted to talk about favorite stand-up comedy specials. Like, I was watching one the other day, and now that's so bad, I got to look back up what his name was. It was he was really good, and so that got me thinking about it the other day. It was so good, you forgot his name, KB. Yeah, that's pretty convincing. I know that doesn't sound good, but he was very, very funny. But anyway, we were just kind of talking about that, because obviously back in the day, Eddie Murphy and, kind of some of those specials were the bigger ones. I do like Ricky Gervais a lot, and we'll get into that. So there's a few, but I kind of wanted to hype this one. And now that's so bad. Oh, it was presented by, what's her name? And cool story, Karyn. Okay, I'll look it up once Renato gets here. At any rate, we will then also talk about some new upcoming fight announcements. I know one of the ones that they just announced was Tai Tuivasa. He's going to be the co-main event down in Florida, which is going to be great. I'm working that one. So on December 3rd, Tai versus Sergey Spivak, which should be fun. Those the big boys. And we know that Tai was just over there in France. He did not win the fight with Cyril Gane, but he's the first person to have knocked him down. So that is pretty big. That's a pretty big deal. So, yeah. So Sheng Wang is the one that I watched the other day, and it was very, very good. So I want to talk about that. So I did remember it. Well, I didn't remember it. I looked it up. Sue me. So for those of you, maybe that you're new here, maybe you aren't new here, maybe you've been here before, but anyway, let me remind you that you can find all of these shows on Fistivities.com and on my YouTube. But for audio downloads, we also have it available over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Amazon Music. So you can go over there. You can tell your, listening device, your watcher, your listener to play it, and they will play it. I actually, speaking of that, changed the name on it the other day. Because the wake word is close to some stuff I say. And in fact, was talking about Alexa Grasso one time, and then she just started going crazy, and it made me nuts. So I have changed my wake word now, which is good. It's a little bit more fun. And so, yeah. It's good. It's good. Yeah, that's right. Andy, Angela's on the Orlando card. That Orlando card is actually pretty great. It's got Rafael dos Anjos. It also has Jack Hermanson versus Brunson. Like, that's a great fight. So there's a lot of really good things going on in Orlando later in the year. Right now, it'd be so easy for me to throw him under the bus and kind of say something mean or rude. But you know what? It's the Festivities show. This show is all about having a good time. So let me just big up the man, the myth, the legend, 27-time world jiu-jitsu champion, my good friend, Mr. Renato Laranja. Hi.
Caralho. Let me to fix that once.
How are you?
Let them to see some chat show there.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You know what? Good. Now that you're here, mine seems a little.
You look like a twin. You look like Brother Darkness. You look. You look like Jack Congo, porra.
Is it too dark? It looks a little dark now, or is it just the screen is dark?
Not for nothing. You're a little dark.
A little. Yeah. Let me pump it up. Say hello to the people. Greet the people.
Oh, hello. But I want to say hello to you. Look, I want to see you, porra.
Hi. Can you see me? Is this better?
I think you could ask the people who
should I go up a little more?
I think you should, because we want to see you. We want to see the glow, caralho.
Okay.
Like in the movie The Last Dragon.
The Bruce Leroy glove.
Yeah.
Right.
You know you had a crush on that guy when you were back then.
No, I didn't.
You didn't? Every girl I knew fucking
no.
was in love with that guy.
No.
That's Chai Mark.
Yeah, Time Mock. Yeah, I know him. I told you, I think I was telling you that story. I don't know him. But when I first got here to Los Angeles, my hair just got caught in the thing. When I first got here to Los Angeles, I used to train up at Crunch on Sunset Boulevard, and he used to train there.
Yeah.
So yeah. I've trained alongside Time Mock, but I wasn't crushing on him.
So listen, my dad was his first karate teacher when he was a little kid.
Oh, wow.
Because my dad and his dad was friends from the streets. And it's funny, you know, he's half black, half white.
Yep.
His dad is like a crazy street Italian guy that hung out with like black guys.
Okay.
And his mom is like a big, like curvy, big boom, curvaceous black woman, like a bad mama jamma, like what could you compare?
Like Shaka Khan?
No, even more like, what's the fucking woman's name?
The one from Night Court?
No, better than that. No, that's Marsha Winfield. His mom is like, fuck, Patti LaBelle.
Oh, okay.
Like long
she's great.
fingernails, big chitties, like attitude, thickness. And his dad was a crazy son of a bitch, like the kind of guy who bites your nose off in a fight, you know. And he was like a good friend of my dad, and then so my dad was like, hey, you know, like he put him into my dad's karate class, so he was the first entree into karate. So I knew that guy growing up, and in the neighborhood, because he grew up not far from me. Because of that fucking movie. In the neighborhood, he was like, it was as if he was Healy Bruce Leroy, like It was an urban legend. Like it was like he was, and funny enough, because he come off corny in the movie, almost like he's like sensitive and sweet and dumb or whatever. In real life, he was a ladies' man, you know, a pretty boy.
Yeah, I can see that.
But he was known to be like, he was the kind of guy who would challenge the bouncer at the club, and he would take his shoes off like in the streets and beat the shit out of like a guy twice his size. So he would put his money. He was like a street fighting guy for heel. You know, anyway, I don't know. I'm not his fucking publicist. I'm just saying.
Apparently, you are. It's funny that you said
in the movie. You know what I mean? But in real life, he used to kick ass for him.
Gotcha. It's funny though. That you mentioned a kid beating somebody up in the street, taking off their shoes, because I saw a clip of that today on Instagram or something. You know, some fight where some kid was, you know, get somebody, you know, this kind of tough guy with this, you know, who looked like a wannabe gangbanger was trying to hassle this kid, and so the kid like took his shoes off and he had on baggy jeans, and then he got into like his karate
stance. The old one. Oh,
yeah. Is that old? All right. And I just saw the kid.
It's a white kid. It's a white kid versus like an essay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a classic. I bet all the people in the comments know exactly what you're talking
about. Okay, well, I just saw it today.
Like this. He go. Yeah. And then he proceeded to fuck the kid up for him.
Totally.
I like stuffs like that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
It's a culture clash. It's a clash of styles for her. And then the essay is on this shit.
Exactly. Well, listen, Joey is here like every Tuesday, so it's good to see you. Andy is asking, Hanach, what are you sipping on?
It's interesting. I had to make do.
Sorry, I got something in my eye.
Unorthodox. But I'll tell you what I got here. So I didn't have anything interesting. I didn't have a lot of chime, to be honest here. Okay. And so I just put, I didn't have ice cubes, more important.
Okay, so sorry, I got something in my eye.
What the fuck is going on here?
I got something in my eye. Okay, go ahead.
There's mud in your eye.
Yeah, exactly.
So I wanted to have a little tequila. Okay, it's a very light drink here that I make, but instead I fucking ran out of ice cube, and I didn't have time before the show, so I'm always thinking I'm using my noodle. Okay, so I had frozen fruit that I use for my smoothies, so I put a motley crew of, and I have little cubes of passion fruit. Okay, and then I have little cubes of fucking mango. And you know what? Since I'm fucking my body up here with the tequila, I may put some cubes of aloe vera for my skin, for her, and my osteoporosis. Okay.
Okay. Well, it's a shame about those favela fridges, though. They don't crank out much ice, huh?
Oh God. You know what? You got a lot of nerve. Talking about the favela. You live in Watts, California. Um, you
What's
you you're using WhatsApp. God.
WhatsApp?
No,
I do
no, but
use
listen.
WhatsApp. WhatsApp is great. I
You
got
know what?
one weird hair today. Like,
Never mind you weird hairs. We're talking about my mixology. Now I'm used the properties of aloe vera. While I
uh-huh.
get drunk, my skin is also gonna start to glow. Huh?
Great. I love it. I love it. Well, you know what, Renato, get glowing, get excited. Our
Yeah.
guest is here.
But
Our guest is here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do want to welcome in our guest. He is fighting Khalil Rountree, who is a former
uh,
guest of ours. I
oh,
know. I know.
it's like
Um,
Homulus and Hemus. It's two of our children. Is
I
fighting
know.
each other. It's Cain
Ex-
and Abel. Cain and disable.
and
In
just,
in in the case of that's Jacob. That's that's Jacoby.
ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the number 13 light heavyweight, Dustin Jacoby.
What's
Hey,
going
how's
Oh
it
on,
going?
guys? How are you? How
look,
are
I'm
you?
Dustin
great.
Jacoby look African American. You don't have any better lighting in there?
Yeah, we
Here,
need
you
some
know
more
what?
light on you.
Here, let me try. I was trying this little setup. So we just moved into a new place,
Oh, yeah?
Are you
and
where you moved into a black neighborhood? God, are you? You look it
no,
dark.
give me a second. I knew I should have went
What,
quite slow with it.
where do you, because you're in Colorado, right? Where do you live? What city?
Yeah, we're in Colorado, so we just moved to Roxborough, which is like South Littleton.
Oh, okay. I know
Um,
Littleton. Yeah.
Well, that
yeah, a
makes sense
little.
because Hawkesboro is probably, Hawkesbury in Boston is the black neighborhood.
It's
So
always black. Yeah.
Hawkesboro is
There we
That's
probably
go.
much better.
the black
There
part
we
of
go.
Colorado. Meanwhile, I've been to Colorado recently. I didn't saw one black person inside Colorado.
There's none.
Oh,
They're
it's a
down at
beautiful
4
state.
Points. They all live down in the little 4 Points area, unless that has gotten gentrified. But that's literally where I was told they all lived in
You
Denver.
talking about 5 Points?
5 Points. That's it. 5 Points. Not
5
4
points.
Points.
Yep.
I took
5
one away
points.
because one got stolen. No.
Yeah. 5
Well,
points. No, I'm in Roxborough, which is south of Denver, about 30 miles. Beautiful little spot in the foothills and nice neighborhood, man. We moved in a couple weeks ago. Night number one, I had a deer walk up to my fence and eat some berries right off of it. Night number two, I had a full-grown bear in my backyard digging through my trash.
you got to be careful with that one because we have
Yeah.
it. I mean, we have it bears too where I live, but I'm living in West Hollywood. So
Okay.
the bears we have, they have a nice full beard and they have like a steroid belly like this. You know the belly
Okay.
that's like
That's-
Winnie the Pooh, but it's
I
had
think-
abs on top of that one. Yeah,
I think these bears are a little meaner.
Different. Yeah.
I don't know. That's half dozen of one and 12 of the other because you end up at the bear's house in the bear's den over there. It's not gonna be like Winnie the Pooh because he's gonna give you some honey, but it's not the same kind, Karyn.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that, honey. I'm staying away from that bear, man.
Me neither, Karyn. That's Jacoby. It's great to see you, my brother.
It is.
Yeah, good to be on the show. You know what? I have to be honest. I have not seen one of these shows before, but I'm going
How
to.
dare
I'm going
you?
to tune in. I know. I got to be honest, but I'm going
But
to tune in.
I'm surprised. Now wait a second. You've been following me for quite a while.
Clutch
Right?
my
Yeah,
pearls.
no, I definitely follow you guys. I just, I don't know. I don't get into the podcast. I don't even really listen to Joe Rogan as much as I should, or as
Never
much as
mind Joe
other
Rogan.
people do.
Joe
Never
Rogan
mind
got
Joe.
Joe Hogan got enough fucking listener. Now wait a
Yeah.
now. But you had to have seen some of the clips that I post on my.
So I was doing some snooping once you guys reached out about doing the show, and I saw some clips. It's good stuff. I'm gonna have to start tuning in.
Yeah, you are.
have to do that one because you're not gonna have success if you don't do that one.
All right,
It's gonna
man. Well, I'm all in now.
Yeah,
if you
it's
just gave me
bad
a little
luck.
cheat code, I gotta take you up on it.
You have to do that. What's on your shirt there? I'm curious of that one.
So this is a Fit Soda. It's a beverage company. It's a startup company. My wife actually works for, and they're a sponsor of me. And they're a great company. It's a healthy alternative to water, and it's made up of BCAAs and electrolytes. So it's good stuff.
Well, I see you doing a free commercials for your
I
wife.
was just kidding.
Yeah. Well, you asked. I had to tell you.
Carajo. We'll cut this part. Nah, I'm kidding. We're gonna let you to enjoy. What do you got there? I'm curious on that one. Is it look like an old movie poster or something like that? Yeah.
Me? No, I just got this. How
What
great
is that
is this shirt? It says "Thinking About Bay," and it's like this old.
Wow.
Isn't that great? Here, wait, here.
Okay.
Think about Bay.
Damn,
It's
man.
so
What's
good.
the thing?
Japanese
So
gargoyle.
it's supposed to be sort of funny, but but pretty at the same time. It's like a old school Japanese art, but it's just a dude.
So
And
now,
what about you, Renato?
sulking.
What are you sporting over there?
Oh, just
Same old.
just
Oh my
Look at that.
Oh my God! Don't egg him on, Justin. Justin, rule one on this show
Let's
is
see
do
those
not egg
guns, man.
on.
No, I
Fired
think
up. That's the tequila coming out. Hey, I heard you talking about tequila earlier. You guys also need to try El Bandito tequila.
Oh, is this another one?
It's another startup. It is. It's a company
Brought to
that
you by-
supports me, and
You know what?
it is good stuff. If you like tequila, you got to give it a try, man.
Well, why don't you send me a box of El Bandito?
Okay, you know what? Send me a DM with your address, and I'll get you one.
Oh, Carajo, you want my address?
I'll get you both one.
Like,
Oh, Carajo,
thanks.
you want my address now and my phone number? Oh, Carajo.
He moves fast.
You know,
Yeah. Okay. So I do like it, tequila. I have severely cut down my alcohol consumption lately, but when I do, I don't always, but when I do imbibe, I like it, tequila. It's the one that make me feel less.
It's noted.
I feel less fucked up the next day because I don't drink like, shitty tequila. I drink the nice one. I feel good in the morning.
So, what's your reasoning of cutting back on the alcohol?
My mental state, I was looking like a puffy, fat piece of shit. You know what I mean? And just the whole smear. It's
just take control of your life a little bit.
Yeah. Take control of my life. I've been controlling a lot of other people's life. Now it's time to take control of my life.
There you go, man.
Do you want to know the real story, Dustin?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, please.
What's the fucking Houston?
The real story is that about a year ago, this is episode 55, right? About a year ago, I invited Renato to start talking with me on Tuesday nights. And I think what happened is that the more we did this, and he saw himself, and he was like, "Oh, this is fun. People are tuning in." I think that Renato was like, maybe feels like he was going to be getting out about in the world a little more. I wanted to shape up as a result of and for the show so that he could come up here in the little wife beaters and try to look all hot and everything every week. And try to get into it's basically trying to thirst trap every week.
Listen, I've always been sexy and irresistible. Now I'm even more powerful.
You said you were getting puffy though.
I was, but women don't care about that. They care about what's on the inside.
I don't?
I'm the one who care about what's on the outside.
But you're wrong. But you're wrong.
Well, how come I was still getting punching when I looked like fucking? I don't know.
Puffmeister. The Puffmeister.
Yeah, I look like that Stay Puft Marshmallow.
Because girls are desperate here in LA because there's very few options.
Exactly.
I would know. I would know how few options there are.
I take it. There's a lot of Honaways out on Hollywood Boulevard. A lot of bitches on skateboards. They're in need of direction.
How is LA doing these days?
They're in need of.
For me, I enjoyed that one. I was just play basketball with some African American gentlemen,
nice.
And then also I was made love to some white women just yesterday. I have like it's a
moves.
It's a multi-culture. You know what I mean?
I like it, man.
Yeah, I like to
diverse.
But not in Denver.
Hey, Denver's not too bad. We
no,
have people of all race. Denver's cool. Denver's cool. She's giving me the look. No.
There's black people on the Nuggets and on the
Yeah. They have the Broncos, the Nuggets.
Yeah,
I get you.
And now you have a Hustle Wilson who's tried to steal my whole look.
Yes,
You do got the Wilson look.
But because he did that, now he's having bad luck on the Bronco. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they need to get it together. They're slacking.
Yeah.
I don't know
And
if
he
it's
stole
him or the coaching or what, but they need to pick it up.
I don't know. Maybe they need a heel piece of shit like Mike Shanahan to come and like whip people into shape like he used to. You know how he
old school.
Results, but people hate his fucking guts.
Well,
You know what
the
I mean?
vein on his forehead would like just about burst every game, and he'd turn so red on the sideline.
Shanahan seemed like the most meanest fucking guy on earth.
100%.
Some people he's fun to that. I was never like Bobby.
He scared
Knight.
me.
I don't do well.
Yeah,
with that. I need the guy to be like this. Oh, Hanach, you know who I like? You ever seen Pumping Iron, the documentary?
Oh, with is that got Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Arnold and Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
Now, Lou Ferrigno's father is like a old hitchhiker cop.
Yeah, okay.
And he's always trying to big his son up. He goes, "Oh, Louis, you look like something Michelangelo would have cut out."
You need a player's coach. You need a guy that's talking you up 24/7. A player's coach. Okay, I like it.
But everybody's different. Some people need to be kicking the fucking ass. I need to be lied to. I need somebody to go, "Oh, Carayo, oh, Henache, nobody's as strong like you. You look like something Michelangelo." And then I start to believe that shit.
Yeah.
But if somebody go, "Hey, if you miss a 3-pointer, I'm cutting you from the I go, "Oh, Carayo."
Too much pressure. It gets the nerves, yeah.
Yeah.
So you need somebody to big you up. Yeah. What do you like in the corner? Does Mark tell you, like, for folks who don't know, his coach is Mark Montoya over there at Factory X. And so does Mark tell you, I know generally he's a great corner. He's regarded as one of the better ones. So does he tell you though, like if you're losing, how brutally honest with you is he? Like what's his style?
Well, he's just very real. He's very genuine and very real. And he'll let you know. And if you're down, he's going to tell you about it. And if you're doing well, he's going to tell you about it and keep going smooth. And we always have a game plan going in, and that does change at times. And it's nice having him in the corner because he not only is he real, he's a guy that I know I can go to war with. I know if shit hit the fan and if a big brawl broke out, he'd be right there by me, So I love having Mark in the corner, and he's just a real one, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, don't get me wrong. I don't want somebody, if in a fighting situation, I don't want somebody to tell me I'm winning the hound if I'm not winning the hound. I just always want them to believe I still can do it instead of, if you don't fucking do it, then I guess, I don't know.
I'm picking up what you're putting down for sure.
You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
I love the style. I love when I hear a guy say, "Listen, you're losing this fucking hound." You know what I mean? I love that.
Get your shit together. Pick it up.
You lost it. What's the point of telling somebody they're winning when they're not? I never understood.
I know. Well, but some people maybe don't have the confidence and they feel like if they get too far behind, they'll get down on themselves. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can start to spiral down.
I feel like my technique would be this. Look, you down this one, but this guy's overconfident. He's starting to wear down. This is our fucking hound. You know what I mean? Like that's how I'm gonna think shit. But I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna still give you positive, but not like you're winning the fucking hound. So what? You're gonna coast now on a loss? I mean,
right. Yeah, you got to be real. They got to know. What do you guys think? Should we have open scoring? Should there be an open scoring at the red? I think so
100%.
too.
100%.
I don't see why not.
Fuck yeah.
I see it. It takes away the factor, the thrill factor at the end when it does go to decision. But yeah, I agree.
Thrill factor for me because usually it's somebody getting jerked. It's almost more. It sucks. And
I think we'd see more exciting fights too, and more guys going for it at the end, going for broke.
100%.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think it has to be that. Why should they know less than the judge? Why should the judge know more than the fighter?
It shouldn't be a mystery, especially in a close round. You got to, as a fighter, you need to know what the judge is thinking as well. And
especially because the judges half the time don't know what the fuck they're looking at.
Oh, I know. It's awful.
Because of that, it would be one thing. Okay, if the judges was sharp and knew what they was doing, and most of the time they get it high, I would say fuck open scoring.
Yeah, if it was more consistent, then
Since they fuck up more than they don't fuck up, yeah, I would like to know. Hey guys, what are you even seeing out here? Because I don't fucking know. But
then again, so say you're down in the fight for the judges, but in your mind, there's no way you're down. But you see the score, say you're down 2-0.
Right.
And you're like, wait a sec, how am I done? Would that mess with you? Would that mess with you mentally?
I think I would be like, what? And then be like,
go crazy. That's my whole point too, is that I feel like it would push the action in a fight, because if somebody's down 2 rounds, somebody's down 4 rounds, or they're in there and it's 2-2, are you kidding me right now? And we know this, and they know it. And they know, or if somebody's down 2 rounds and they know the only thing I have is to finish this fight, that's the only way I'm going to win. I got 5 minutes to do that. There's no way that I think the crowd would get very involved in that. I don't think that would make it any less exciting for the crowd at all. If anything, I think it would actually raise the ante and raise the stakes. I mean, look, at this point, we're doing betting between rounds, like odds change by the minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Everyone knows but the fighters.
Yeah, and that, to me, that's counterproductive. I don't see the purpose to that.
You know, Karyn, that's a great point. They are doing live scoring, live betting. So you can get on DraftKings and you already know by the end of that fight who won based off of what the odds were.
I mean, why so DraftKings now too? Caralho. You could just say
that's a great point.
For the leading betting app or whatever, you know. Yeah, it don't make any sense to me. It just don't make that. A lot of shit is ass backwards in this fucking sports, you know.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
Well, so do you? And for you, Dustin, since you have done like MMA and kickboxing, are you like, did you feel more confident with one set of judges than another? You know what I mean? Do you feel like one of them?
Yeah, judging's judging. You know, it's pretty inconsistent across the board. There was a couple decisions I lost in Glory that there was like, there's no way I lost that fight. I won the first round. I about finished him in the second round. And then I maybe slowed down the third round, but I won 2 of the 3. So there was a couple decisions that didn't go my way. The cool thing about Glory, though, is when you could have a sudden death round. So after 3 rounds, if there's no clear winner, they go to a sudden death, and then nothing else in the fight matters but that 3rd round.
Okay.
Did he freeze on you?
Huh?
Did he freeze on you shit?
No, we're good, I think. Oh, wait. No, he did freeze. Are you there? Oh,
there you are.
Back. There you are. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's. You're good.
The sudden death round is pretty cool. I don't know. Did you guys
cool.
hear me there? Okay.
Yeah, we heard. No, I love it. So that nothing else matters in the whole fight except for the sudden death round. That's crazy.
Correct. Yeah. So nothing else in the fight matters but that 1 round. So then you just kind of go for broke.
Yeah, I like that. And you know what? What I don't like too is the people that sacrificing the most in combat sports is the ones that have the most consequences for other people's actions. So it's like, why should the people that have the most on the line,
most skin in the game,
why should they have more of also not just that consequence, but the consequence of they win money. The people, those choices, those decisions.
You're breaking up a little, Renato.
There's no consequence.
We're a little. You broke up a little.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was just him or my phone or what.
No. Say that again, but it was so.
What now?
Yeah, I missed. It was.
Am I back?
You're saying basically the fight. Yeah, he's back. He's back.
Yeah.
I'm back. Okay, so let me.
The fighters have the most skin in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the fighters have the most skin in the game. Why? And they their purse is on the line. That their win money is on the line. Their fucking health is on the line. All that shit. But yeah, the people making these decisions, these fucked up decisions, there's no consequences for them. No. So what I would like to see is, well, maybe you make enough fucked up decisions, like by a committee. Go, well, how are you gonna have it 30-27 when everybody else had the height stuff? So what the fuck are you looking at? They should have maybe have their fucking money taken away, or they should be suspended.
They put in like a timeout. Yeah, you don't get to ref for a while. You might need to go take a refresher course.
Correct.
There's a peer review of other judges.
They should have to.
Yeah. I
think they might be less willy-nilly if you got to think, well, hey, wait a second. I can't just be doing whatever the fuck I want. If I'm going way the fuck out of bounds on this, I might, my family, half my money might get fucked up instead of the fighter who's in there getting his brains beaten.
But it's still a subjective position, though. So.
Not for the fighter. the fighter, it's very
I know,
it's
but
very,
I know, but in their defense, one judge may see something because of where they're seated. So if anything, now we're going down the rabbit hole of maybe they should be watching
listen,
on a monitor and not be in the arena. And like, there's so many other things
If
because
there's a consistent issue with one particular judge, I think you're right. He should be
yeah,
suspended without
yeah,
pay. Maybe go do a 3-month course or 1-month course, whatever it takes to
something,
freshen up on the game and then
yeah,
get back in.
something
yeah.
because I guess the other argument would be, oh, but you're fucking with these guys' money, and oh, but they gotta make a living. Well, so do the fucking
Go to the
fighters,
fighters.
and they don't just get you wake up and go, oh, I'm gonna go do this fight this weekend, whatever. These fighters, the fight that these guys is spectating, these fighters put blood, sweat, and tears in for 3 fucking months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know all about it.
Well, I know. I'm sorry. I'm preaching to the converted.
No, I know for sure. I get it.
I swear to God, in MMA, there's nothing
Rich,
that make my blood boil more than this, and in boxing.
Rich Buddy is saying they do that in boxing, suspend judges and refs, do they?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I didn't know.
Not that, but good, good.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Well, so listen, you do have a fight coming up at the end of the month with Khalil Rountree, like we said, a former guest of ours here. So I did see UFC posted, I think they put something out on social and they were like, this is going to be powerful, because they just showed Khalil just like murking somebody, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah. So obviously I would imagine power is going to be the thing that you got to watch out for the most with him. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, he's definitely powerful. He can knock you out, if you're not on your game that night and prepared. But I think he's pretty one-dimensional. He's a stand-up fighter, and like I said, I was one of the best stand-up fighters in the world with Glory kickboxing, and I'm proving that in the light heavyweight division that I'm one of the best stand-up fighters in MMA. And I think it's going to be his cream of the crop versus my cream of the crop. I think I'm a little bit better, but you're right. He's very powerful. I need to watch out for the power. I think I've got him in speed and size and distance and range. And it's going to be a fun fight for sure. I'm really looking forward to it. And I enjoy going toe-to-toe with a kickboxer.
Yeah, I think that's why people are going to want to see that one. Because you guys is like, everybody know you pedigree with kickboxing. That's where I first saw you too. I mean, that was when you first came onto my radar, because I used to see like all these guys. I used to watch Glory, and then I would see all these guys from all these different countries, and there's usually not as many, Americans and stuff. And
correct.
I was like, oh, the white boy, the American flag. I go, oh,
Johnny Cage.
Yeah, because I like to root for the underdog,
For sure, man. I did have a good underdog story with Glory, and kind of my whole career. It's really cool. I made my UFC debut October 29th, 2011. And here I am fighting Khalil Rountree October 29, 2022. So 11 years later, my story is pretty crazy. It's an underdog story, and I've came back and made the most of my second opportunity with the UFC, and it's been a fun ride. Yeah,
you're no longer the fucking underdog. You like what's the villain of fucking underdog?
Underdog, Mr. Snidely.
I think he's no. That's in the other one. That's in the Laugh Olympics. We old people. We're talking about old shit from the 70s. But fucking underdog, the bad guy. Remember Savoir Faire? He's like Savoir Faire is everywhere.
I missed it. No, I don't know.
Well, you gotta get involved in that. You gotta smoke some of that natural Colorado medicine and watch old cartoons from the 70s.
There you go. I don't know where to find them anymore. I don't. Where can you watch an old cartoon from the 70s? YouTube. There you go.
You could find all kind of fucking shit on YouTube that you.
Yeah, for sure.
YouTube
for sure. There. Well, so that is kind of a great thing, and it's not like you didn't. It's not like anybody wouldn't expect this anyway. But yeah, there probably won't be any takedowns in this fight. Obviously, I mean, you never know. You could totally 100% mix it up, and it might be a great idea. But it's like Renato just said. That's why this fight is going to be so appealing to people. It's
for sure.
Fighters. But so I know the line to say is that you're not looking too far ahead and you're taking your opponent seriously. But certainly at number 13, where you are in the division, I would imagine you have plotted out your path to the title. So how many fights do you think it would take you, if you're victorious in this one? Or do you already have kind of, to use our own thing here, like a hit list of people you want to fight?
Well, timing's everything, and it's hard to predict what's going to happen. But I certainly plan on going out there and getting my hands raised here at the end of the month, and definitely getting an opportunity to fight a top 10 opponent. Before this fight with Khalil, I tried getting Volkan Ozdemir, and that is the path that I would like. He fought the week after I did in July, and he beat Paul Craig, so he moved up. And, the UFC loved it. We talked to Mick Maynard. He's like, we're going to reach out to Volkan's team. They went to put it together, and Volkan respectfully declined. And I'm not, he had just beat Paul Craig. He was number 8. He beat Paul Craig, so he's moving up to number 7. He's not looking at number 13. And at the time, I was number 14 because Thiago Santos, when he left for PFL, everybody bumped up one. So at the time I was number 14, he's like, I just beat number 7 or number 8, whatever. Everybody moved up one. So I think he was number 9, beat number 8. Well, now he moved from number 8 to number 7. He's like, I'm not going to go fight number 13, 14, whatever. He's got his eyes up towards the top of the title. I totally get it. Yeah, it totally makes sense. When you get to the top 10, you have to be strategic. And so hopefully I go in there, I get an impressive win at the end of this month. I'd like to get, like I said, Volkan's a guy that I have on my radar. Ryan Span's another guy. He's above me. Johnny Walker's above me. There's several guys above me that.
Well, they just matched Johnny and Paul though for the show in January in Brazil.
Okay, Johnny and Paul.
Yeah, Craig. They just put those two together.
Oh wow, I did not see that.
Yeah, I saw. I think it, or it's agreed to. I don't know if it's like 100% official, but. I think it is
like one of those MMA shit I follow.
Yeah. So those two will fight each other in January.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. It seems like everybody is. You just never know with the bookings, and somebody gets hurt and an opportunity arises out of nowhere. So, but I definitely have my eyes locked in on the top 10. I'd like to get an opportunity to prove that I can be in the top 10, and then from there. Quite frankly, I've won 6 in a row, 6 of 7. One was a draw. Timing's everything. If I go in there and get a couple finishes in a row, you never know if you get thrown up to the top or whatnot. So I think another former champ that I match up well with is Jan, another guy that I'd like to fight. And again, he's up at top 3. So it's hard sitting at number 13 to be calling people too high up. But at the same time, we'll just have to go out there, win, and wait to see who they give me.
Can you cut down 125 or whatever that is to fight Jan?
Wait, no.
I know.
Jan, I think they just announced Jan and Ankalaev.
He's fighting Jan.
Okay. Yeah, Błachowicz Ankalaev will be
Jan, African American.
See, I tell you what, I'm behind on all of this. So we just got moved into our new house within the past couple of weeks, and we've been so busy. I'm behind on. I haven't even watched. I'm a huge NFL guy, and I've missed a lot of the games on Sundays, just getting the house put together. So man. Tell me about it. And my Cowboys are 4-1, man. with a backup quarterback. I'm super happy about that. So
I got the.
You're not a Bronco fan?
I cheer for the Broncos. I'm buddies with guys on the team. I'm homegrown, but my first team's the Cowboys.
Unbelievable. But I'm with you on that because I play fantasy with some of my old high school buddies, and my special teams and defense is fucking the Cowboys, and they've been saving my fucking ass on a couple of shitty games.
They've been real good, man. They've been real good. Micah Parsons is going to be the NFL MVP, defensive MVP.
They doing their fucking thing every time.
We got a rebuilding year. In New England, we're whatever.
Never mind.
Rebuilding.
You've had your fun.
Yeah,
we have. We really have.
1,000 years, you guys have nothing.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck that fucking New England page.
Hey, go ahead, Renato. Wait, what? No, I was gonna. No, nobody's frozen.
Wow, what a trip! Okay,
nobody's frozen. Good. I can see you. I was gonna ask. I was gonna get to some origin story stuff. Just because
my origin story?
No, not your.
Well, I grew up, huh?
You didn't grow up is the thing.
You know what? This is the I could just have a mind to just leave and go do some other stuff tonight. Except if it wasn't for Dustin Jacoby, I would peace out.
So a couple things. So yeah. So what's the origin story? How did you even become a fighter? And are you the kind of guy that had to do the sort of like fighting in the ballroom at the hotel? And like, how small was the smallest show that you started on?
Oh, I fought at a fairground before and outside, you know, in Butler, Illinois, a town of like 250. Yeah, so my twin brother, I have a twin brother. He no longer fights, but he did have a professional career. And I was in college. I was playing college football, and I got a call. It was like a Tuesday, and it was my brother. He's like, "Yo, man," he's like, "I'm getting in a fight this weekend." And I'm like, "You're getting in a fight this weekend? Like, what? I thought a fight just happened. Like, a fight just, you know, spur of the moment." He's like, "No, you put gloves on. You weigh in on Friday night. You step into a cage. You put gloves on. You fight this guy." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "What is this?" I'd never heard of it. This was 2006, 2007. Yeah. And so I get on my computer in my dorm room and I just Google MMA and I just started. I was blown away. You know, that's when I got introduced to the sport. And my twin brother.
How the fuck was you? Did you grow up in like a like Jeremiah Johnson or something like that? Like
no, man. I've never seen MMA, and I was a big sports guy. I mean, I boxed in high school. We threw on the boxing gloves. We MMA. I don't know. I just never seen it. I don't know how.
Did you do a lot of theater as a child?
No. No, man. I mean, yeah, it was crazy. I didn't know. Now, in my defense, MMA was not that popular at all in 2006. It really started, blowing up like 2008, 2010 with Chuck Liddell and Rampage Jackson, and then the Spider came on the scene, and the rest is history. But so my brother had a few amateur fights, and we were kind of joking, and I was talking some smack, and I was like, "Man, I'll knock anybody out." And he's like, "All right, I'll put you on one of my cards that I'm going to be on."
Nice.
And he's like, I know the promoter. This is old school. He's like, "Wait, there's a promoter?" He's like, "Yeah, I got his number, man. And we can get a fight anytime we want." I was like, "Put me on the card." And I got on the card. I knocked the kid out, and the rest is history. My football coach found out about it in college, and he wasn't too happy about that. But shortly after, I went down and I started training full time at Matt Hughes' gym in Granite City, Illinois. And he walked out with me my first UFC fight, put the gloves on me and everything. So that was pretty cool.
Who else was the old school guys there at the time? Was that
No, that was after Jens Pulver, but Robbie Lawler was there. Hell, I was sparring with Robbie Lawler. I had no idea who he was. I knew he was and see, I thought I was good, and I was light years behind these guys. Everybody was way better than me. Brian Foster is a guy that has had an unfortunate story, man. He was Cowboy Cerrone before Cowboy Cerrone. Just had an issue, like a spot on his brain, which turned out to be nothing. I mean, he still fought, but the UFC never signed up. He was 3-2 in the UFC with 3 bonuses, and the UFC just caught him. The UFC caught him because this spot on his brain, and they just didn't want to take the chance. And rightfully so, and just unfortunate. But he was a main staple there. Matt Veach, which had a pretty good, short but good UFC career. Who else we have in there? We had a room full of guys, and we had people from all over the world because it was Matt Hughes, and everybody had to travel to train with Matt Hughes. 9-time world champ, and this legend. So. It was great, man. I was at the hit squad, got signed by the UFC, and 0-2. I got booted out. Continued fighting on, and I got a call from my buddy Brian Foster. Go ahead.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
In the UFC, because I've been fired from gigs or whatever.
Have you?
I've gotten
really
every stuff. Yeah. Now. What is their style when they fire you on the UFC?
My manager at the time just told me that I was cut. They were just like, they just cut you.
So
they didn't reach out to me or nothing. But I tell you what, like I said, it was October. So I got to fight October, and then they used to give out some really cool Christmas gifts, and I got what was it, like an iPad 2? You know, when the iPads had first come out, it was the iPad 2. So I got that for Christmas. I was with them at the right time. I had my second fight in January, lost in January, and got cut in April. So I did get a Christmas gift back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what's sad? You know what's sad when you get cut from a job like that or fired from a job like that? The next Christmas haul around, and you feel the absence of those big nice gifts. Like there's no more of the computers and shit. You know what I mean? Like I remember I used to be on a soap opera after my my Valley Trudeau career was over. I did an American soap opera where I had to do American voice. I was on the day of the days through our life. You know that one? Like
Days of Our Lives. Yeah.
Life of our child. So I was on that one, and I had to, for this cocksucker, I had to find out by hitting the script where I'm die. You understand? They didn't even tell me before that. I go like this. They said we're gonna car hack, and then it go fade to black, and I go like this and like shake the thing. I go, where's the hest? What happens then? I'm safe, and my bank account is safe. And no such luck.
I have 2 experiences where I was let go without being told. So one of them was actually Showtime Championship Boxing, who I might actually still work for, because they never actually fired me or anything like that. They just like ghosted me. And so I'm putting them on blast right now. I've actually never really said that out loud, but it's true.
Wow.
But it's true. They they just ghosted me and just never called me again, which was not cool after 3.5 years, by the way.
Well, what did you do? You called fights for them?
I used to be the reporter doing the interviews and stuff with people. So I'd go in the ring. Like I was the last one to interview Diego Corrales, and I covered the first 3 Vasquez Marquez fights and all this stuff. So I'd go either in the locker room beforehand or after in the ring doing stuff like, Vic Darcini, all these people, it was great. I mean, it was awesome. I loved it. And that's actually how I got into MMA coverage from having done boxing coverage first or whatever. So it was great. I just think that's silly, like a big company to not do that to a person. It's just crappy. And then the other one is Junkyard Wars. I also was never told by TLC. Junkyard Wars is a show on TLC, which was really fun and a really cool show. It was a lot of fun. So literally this guy that my ex-husband knew, who was a director, at one point I had introduced him to people on the show. Long story short, he got a job on the show, and we were talking to him one day, and I said something about like, and because he was like thanking me or something for, introduce, and I was like, oh yeah, it's cool. Well, I'll see you soon. And he's like, oh, they didn't tell you? Like, wait, what? And I didn't work there anymore, but he did. Yeah. So it's happened to me twice. And I've had all kinds of, every time I've left, I think it's always something like pretty questionable of like, we say we're not going to have anybody take your job, but now there's a blonde there. Like it's that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to get into those things, but,
that's
it is life. It is life.
Yeah. When one door closes, another door opens.
Exactly.
True.
Exactly. So, but what do you do? Huh? Yeah.
The Hostafarian said that when when one door closed, the Jaja opened another.
Exactly. Well, speaking of Jaja, I don't know. Well, maybe not really, but that doesn't have anything to do. I just need to change subject. But what do you do for fun? Like when you aren't doing a fight thing? I know you're married, you have kids. I know you just moved, but like what do you like to do for fun?
So I have no kids. I'm a very avid golfer. I love golfing. Nice. I have a chocolate lab, which is a big part of our lives. I do a lot of bird hunting with the lab. So we pheasant hunt, and I'm an elk hunter. So I hunt, I fish, I golf. I'm a big time golfer. And I guess anything outdoors.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How good are you?
Are you a handicap?
Yeah, I'm a 7 handicap.
What that means, like,
so
that means 7. You're level 7. So what level of handicap are you? Like, are you more he charted? What it's like? does that mean that the worse you are, the more handicapped you are?
Yeah, so I think there's a statistic out there that like 80% of golfers, 80% of people who play golf will not even break 100.
Yeah,
And
I never have.
and so yeah, so those handicaps, those are like high handicappers, like 20, a handicap of 20. And then there's another stat that like only, I can't remember the percent, but it's a very small percent of people will ever be a single digit handicap. And a single digit handicap is a pretty good golfer. And you usually,
So
if you're,
So listen, Renato, when there's par, the phrase par for the course, right? You know, each hole has a number where they claim, okay, it should take you 3 strokes to get to the hole on this one.
to be,
It'll take you 5 strokes to get to the big one, but it's worth it. Right. And so the par is what a course would be. So sometimes you'll hear a back nine. Oh, it's supposed to be 72 strokes to get all 18 holes or all the holes or whatever. So then the handicap is what you like add to the baseline number of par. So it's essentially, it's like your par is that baseline plus your handicap and stuff, right?
Correct. You're absolutely right. And then every course has a course and a slope and a rating. And that slope and rating plays a big, you have to put that in, and that calculates into your handicap as well. Exactly. So my average score this year is like an 80 or an 81, but I'm a 7 handicap. And if you went based off of just 72, that'd be like a 79. So I'm right there, but the courses I play are a little more challenging. So therefore, I play.
You're good. My brother plays a lot too, but yeah, you're good then. If that's your handicap, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I can keep up.
I don't play golf, but in my world, the more strokes, the better, Karyn.
I'm with it.
I will agree with you on that one. I would prefer a par 5 to a hole in one if we're talking metaphors. Yeah, take your time.
I'll give you a birdie if you're not careful, Karyn.
No birdies. You don't pay for your birdies. You don't pay for your hatchlings and your birdies. You don't.
Fuck, I missed that. For some reason everybody.
Oh, I was just making a joke about you and your hatchlings. But yeah, okay. So that is a hey. So listen, Brandon Royval is still a Factory X guy, right?
Yes, heck yeah, he's fighting this weekend.
Raw Dog. Speaking of holes in one, Raw Dog is fighting this weekend. How's he looking? He's such a fun, energetic guy. I'm really just a big fan. He's just so fun to watch.
Yeah, he is the man. And you know what? Behind the scenes, Brandon is super cool. He is a guy that he is in the gym 24/7. The kid never stops. He eats, breathes, sleeps this game. And he deserves everything coming his way, man. It's been a long time for him. But all of the hard work is paying off. You know, he's one of the most exciting fighters in that division. Him and then Jonathan Martinez, Pedro, also fights this weekend as well.
But he's fighting our boy Cubby Swanson.
Yeah, he is fighting Cub Swanson.
I gotta be honest with you, Dustin Jacoby. We're with Team Cub on that.
Hey, that's all gravy. You know, I like Cub as well. He's an avid golfer too. You know,
he is.
I talk golf with Cub. So that's going to be a great fight. But back to Brandon. Brandon is such a great kid. He's very entertaining. I'm really looking forward to his fight. I'll always bet on a Brandon Royval fight. You know, he just gets it done, and I can't wait. He's probably going to be the first UFC world champion that Factory X has. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
I love it. He's so entertaining. I used to do a podcast with Angela Hill, and we had him on, and he was telling the story of how he would like ride his bike to the gym after school and stuff like that. Like that kid has been committed. I shouldn't say kid, but you know, he's been committed for so long. And like, I 100% heard from his mouth that he's like, yeah, all I do is fight and train. You know, he's like, I don't do anything else.
That's all he does. So tomorrow morning we have strength conditioning at 6 a.m. There's a group that goes in the morning, a group that goes in the afternoon. I play golf. So I'm always a morning guy. So my afternoons are cleared up. Brandon will be there at 6 a.m. He'll go straight to Factory X. He'll do a private with somebody at 7:30. He'll do one of the amateur wrestling classes at like 8:30. Then he'll do
Right.
pro practice 10 to 12, and then he'll get a private in with coach, and then he'll be at the gym rolling in the afternoon. I'm like, dude, what else? You have to have something else to occupy your time or that you're interested in, man. He's like, this is it, man. So
That's why
more power to that kid, and that's why he will be champion. He's very good at what he does. He puts a lot of time in.
Carajo, youth is wasted on the youth. On the young. Fuck. If only I had the energy. Do you imagine the shit I would be doing?
Oh man, yeah, I know.
Wait, now how you get up early? That fucking early? What time you go to bed, Carajo?
As soon as I get off of this, I'm going to bed. I'm gonna go lay down. I'm especially well here because I'm in fight camp. I fight in 3 weeks, so when I'm in fight camp, I'm a whatever it takes type guy. It takes what it takes. There's no other options for me. I have to get to bed, let my body recover. I'm up early in the morning. I get all of my training done by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I have the afternoons to rest or to play golf or do recover. Right before this, I got back from a massage. So right now in camp, man, I go to bed early. I'm up early to bed, early to rise, keeps a man healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Well,
I'm all about that life while I'm in camp,
Well, I guess it helped that you're married because what else are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Renato, what is this saying? Nothing. What is it? Nothing. Not nothing good ever happens after midnight, but like nothing you should do happens after midnight or something. It was like that.
Speak for yourself, Carajo. That's when I'm come to. That's when I'm come to.
You're Mr. Midnight. You're Mr.
Oh, that's when the strength. Yeah, like
is that when the hotline blings? Are you? Do you have?
Okay.
Renato, actually, yeah. Do you booty call people or do they call you?
It depends. It's a give and take. Sometimes I'm the recipient. Sometimes I'm the one who is foraging, like him when he's going on the hunt for a beaver or or whatever the fuck.
A beaver. That's right, hunting beaver.
Dustin, were you a lady killer in your day, but in your single days, were you?
I think you could say that. I mean.
Well, I prefer his brother's style, because listen. Now, if I'm correct,
I had my fun.
If I'm correct, that's Jacoby, your brother, your twin brother. Now you're married now. You're married.
Yes.
But you're only married to one woman. See, I like your brother's style. I heard you in an interview. You said your brother had these 3 beautiful girls, and that kind of thing I can understand. I could settle down if I had 3 women like this guy have.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Right. Now his kids. Yeah, he had 3 beautiful girls as in 3 kids.
Please don't tell me that's. I was touching. This is a
wife.
This
then beautiful daughters.
Yeah.
3 beautiful ladies.
Yep.
Sorry.
I fell into that one. You know what? That's Jacoby. The variety is the spice, not your wife.
Hey, whatever floats your boat, man. I'm with it. To each their own, right?
Well,
I would agree that. Yeah.
If my boat is sinking,
where
you need to make a couple booty calls tonight. Get them tides lifted.
If my boat is having a problem, then several women is gonna be under there like a mermaid or whatever, like the new Little
Just
Mermaid.
Lifting you up.
They have a Haitian Little Mermaid, and a lot of that one is come underneath my undercarriage, and there's God. They saved me.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God. Hey, before we let you go though, the hanyak.
The hanyak.
What's it about? How do I say it? Because I am working that night, so I'll be talking about you. How do I say it? What is the deal? What's it mean? What is it?
It's a very cool story. The hanyak. I guess it's like a German thing. My grandma used to always call my twin brother and I little hanyaks when we were acting up as kids. We'd be, just being crazy, acting wild. She'd be like, "You little hanyaks, like get out of here, go outside, you little hanyaks." Well, one night I'd already started my pro career. I'd already fought for the UFC and been cut, and I got a call to fight for Glory Kickboxing. It was a Wednesday night. I got a call to fight 3 guys on a Friday in kickboxing, and it was a tournament. The winner got $20K. And I was like, well, heck yeah, sign me up. I was getting ready to fight Andrew Sanchez, another former opponent of myself, and Khalil Rountree.
Yeah.
And a UFC fighter as well. But I was getting ready to fight him. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll go out there. And I'm getting my hands taped. And this is pre-Mark. I hadn't even been with Mark Montoya yet. And shortly after I had found Mark, but I was getting my hands taped. And they're like, do you have a fighter nickname? I was like, you know what? I don't. And he's walking off. And out of nowhere, I was like, hey, hold on. I was like, you know what, dude? Tonight I do. I was like, call me the Hanyak. He's like, the Hanyak. And I went out there and I knocked all 3 guys out. And I won a contract with Glory Kickboxing. And that was the night the Hanyak emerged. And
Wow,
I've been the Hanyak ever since.
You Hanyak all those fucking guys out, though. Every single one of them.
Hanyaked him out.
And so the Hanyak, it's, if you look up in the dictionary, it's a rebel without a cause, a Polish soldier, an aggressive athlete, and street slang for meth.
Oh God, are you?
So it's just the power of so it's just a crazy guy, a Hanyak. He's a wild man, and I tell you what, and since I've really created this alter ego, I've done so much better. And I read one time when Kobe Bryant created the Black Mamba, he just became a complete assassin on the court. And he wasn't Kobe Bryant on the court; he was the Black Mamba. Sure. And when he stepped off the court, he was Kobe Bryant. And then it really resonated with me that he created 2 different people. And when I think of the Hanyak, I really do. I think of this crazy guy that I don't even know. He's just a different guy. But then I'm Dustin Jacoby, easygoing. I get out of there and I'm not the Hanyak anymore. But when I'm the Hanyak, I truly feel this sense of I don't even know how to explain it. I just turn into somebody else. It's like a switch. He goes and does his thing, and then the Hanyak's turned off for a while, for a few months, and it's me. So I found a lot of success since creating that guy. So I love it.
That's fantastic. I feel the way every time I get in my car, I turn into the Hanyak. You know what I mean?
Let's go. You won't ever forget that. And see, I do too, because my license plate is Hanyak. So
there we go.
And I'll even have people pull up next to me and like honk the horn, but hey, what does Hanyak mean?
Yeah.
And so I'll have to tell them, you're like, oh, that's really cool, So
wait, now I got a question.
That's great. You said your grandma it was your grandma?
Yeah, my grandma. Hold on. So here's another really cool story.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. I just going because I'm going to tell this story on the air. I just wanted to get the details right because there's no way I'm not telling the story of the origin of your name on the air.
Oh, for sure. So and so also, and it goes a tribute to my grandma as well. So I actually lost my grandma in November of 2020, and it was November 8th, 2020, and on that exact day, almost to the exact hour, I was elk hunting. And I had killed an elk, and I killed a bull, and it was a long story short. It took me like 3.5 hours to get to where we had spotted them. Right before I got there, my buddy's like, "Dude, you busted them. They're all gone." And I just I put my head down. And I just started trudging, right, and I took like 30 more steps, rounded a corner, and this elk was running, and it was getting ready to round a corner to where I couldn't see it, and I just pulled my gun up. I thought I had it aimed right at the center of the body. I pulled the trigger and I shot it right in the neck, and I dropped it right on the spot. Almost to the very second or to the very hour that my grandma had passed away. But I didn't come to find this out until like 7 hours later when we got this bull packed out. Well, I always remember I have that elk actually when we're getting ready to put it where I have it mounted and we're going to hang it on the wall or whatnot.
Yeah.
So I always, anytime I think of elk or think of my grandma, I always think of elk, vice versa. Well, the house that we just bought is on Elk Court. And I can't help but think that's grandma, sprinkling down some sugar and just making everything work out. So really cool story. Yeah.
It was hunt away, and then you was able to shoot him onto the neck so he can visit your grandma.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, however you look at it, it's weird to think that as soon as I took that life, and when I hunt, I just don't hunt to kill. I do want to put that. I've ate that meat for the next 6 months, my family and I. Which and anytime we're eating, man, you think of all the steps it took and the story and whatnot. Yeah. But what really got me is we finally got back to our campsite that night, and my buddy he was going up to clean up, and I was just sitting there staring at this elk, and it was like 11:50 at night, and my phone went off, and I had literally just sat down from like hours of work of packing this thing out, and that's when I got the text that my grandma had died. So I just sat there pondering. I'm like, holy crap! I'm staring at this animal that I took its life, and then almost about the same time my grandma's life was taken.
Yeah.
So it's really weird. Yeah, it's crazy.
I've had some
Yeah.
squirrely shit
Circle of
like
life,
that
man.
in
Yeah.
terms
Yeah,
of the-
for sure. Circle of life. Yeah.
I've had some strange things like that happen to me with people that have passed away, where just like memorable shit happened to me. I'm not gonna get off into the stories
At the same time.
but at the same time, it's like, how the fuck, you know?
It's the universe. It's just things working
It's
out.
all-
You know the way
I don't
they're.
know what is the meaning of all that. Only my God and Jesus know what that is. But I don't know what the fuck everything is.
I think it shows we're all connected, right? We are connected, and maybe we have more psychic ability than we realize or recognize, or maybe we have more connectedness than we actually even appreciate. You know,
Except for the
I agree.
finished yet that they got disconnected by you, Jumpy. Yeah,
you and your Cricket Wireless getting us disconnected all the time. And on that note, listen, it is fight camp for you, and we do need to let you get your sleep because you're a little ahead of us over there in the CO.
To the moon, cara. You want one of these fucking days, a fresh one. To the moon.
To the moon. To the moon.
Yeah, but listen, it's been cool getting to know you. And like, I was telling Renato or before the show that I saw you recently after Nascimento won his fight, right? Because you and Mark were with him there, and so that was good for him to get that win over Tanner Boser and stuff like that. But I'm excited to work your fight with Khalil. And, like we said, we know him. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
But we just know may the best man win on that evening. And it should be a real crackerjack.
Yeah, it's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be a great fight. Khalil, I'm sure, is a good dude. And I know he's a tough competitor. And like you said, may the best man win. And it's going to be a fun night.
Exactly. But yeah, and like we was talking about, it's all connected, and who knows what the fuck is gonna happen. But you guys is connected now, and whatever's gonna happen, you guys is gonna, when you're done, you're gonna learn something from that one.
For sure, man.
Now, a couple of just two small stuffs that I wanted to ask is now you said something about the hanyak or whatever hanyak.
The hanyak, yeah.
Hanyak being a Polish thing. But then you said your grandmom was German. So what's your heritage from that one?
Yeah, so my grandma is German, and I swear it was a German thing. But if you look at it, it says the Hanyak is a Polish soldier. So I don't know if it's a European thing.
You know what's probably funny? I bet you anything. It's like a slur against Polish people, caralho. I bet.
Well, it's funny. Well, and then I fought Mikhail Oleszewski, and he's from Poland in March. And then the Hanyak I fought what was the guy's name? The guy I just fought, Daeun Jung. He was a Korean guy, and the Hanyak in Korean is like some medicine that wipes you out. And I thought that was wild. So I was like, oh man.
And you did. You won by KO.
Yeah, right. So
it does look like a Korean word.
A dose of
it does.
Hanyak. Yeah.
Like hand-cooked tires or whatever. Hanyak.
Exactly.
You should be sponsored by that poison that they give those Korean people. God,
yeah, I know, right? You just give them free doses of the Hanyak.
Yeah. Right. You're gonna sprinkle poison to the ones. Now, and then another stuff. I just want to say, a couple of the reason why we wanted to have you on this one. We've been talking about this, is because we feel, or more myself. No, I'm kidding. You have been doing so much. It's so impressive what you did to get cut, to go into glory, make your name there, to came back, and you hipped off a very impressive. You're on a very impressive hunt right now, and it's funny because every time I see maybe you're the underdog or whatever, and you keep fucking proving people wrong. You keep winning. You keep beating some tough fucking customers, and it's like people isn't talking about the fucking Hanyak, you know what I mean? And I'm like,
right, man.
And I said to Karyn Bryant, I said, it's time for people to put some fucking respect on this kid's name, And it didn't hurt that he was following your Uncle Hanach. So I had
even though he's never seen the show.
But right, I know. I can't believe that. I'm gonna tune in every Tuesday. I'm gonna keep tuning in every Tuesday.
Listen, he still was follow, and I have a soft spot in my heart. So I said to myself, look, there he is again. Jacoby is the same shit. and that's why we said, fuck, we gotta have this kid. You know, we talked
Yeah.
about this a little while back.
We did.
We gotta put a pin in that one and get this guy on here and have people to put some fucking respect on his name here.
I sure do appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I want to give you your flowers because
For sure.
you earned that shit. And in this funky business, there might be guys who's less talented than you, less harsh than you, or whatever.
Yeah.
For whatever fucking reason, they famous. Their people is talking about them. They're making bigger money. God knows why. And it worked that way in music and in movies or whatever.
Yeah.
But when we see something that we know is of value and a fucking guy that deserves more than he's getting, we wanted to fucking acknowledge that, Karyn.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you guys. It does mean a lot to me, and thank you for giving me the platform, the time, and having me on your show. And I'm for sure going to tune in for the future Tuesdays.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We didn't have to do that. We didn't have to.
Yeah, you're welcome. But also, and if it's easier for you, download us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or Amazon Music. I don't know how long your commute is to get to the gym, but you can always do it that way too if you can't watch.
Sure.
But
for sure.
Yeah.
I recommend Dustin Jacoby that if you're gonna do with your wife to watch this one, do with only the visual. You don't want her to gaze upon your Uncle Hanachi.
All right, man. I'll let her know. I'll let her know. That wife beater be giving her all kinds of feels, huh?
Yeah.
Too much. It's too many. Check off too many the boxes. The hair, the good hair, the baby browns, the skin, Egyptian cinnamon, the chartreuse, the imported cologne.
I love it, man.
Jewelry, accoutrement.
Hey, Renato, you gonna be at the fight? You gonna be in Vegas? You gonna be in Vegas at the end of the month for the fight? It is at the Apex, so I don't know if
I probably won't, but there's a chance, Karyn. So don't get your hopes up. I know you're gonna be getting your hope. I don't want to get your hopes up because I gave my children false hope a lot of time that their father was gonna came to visit that one.
We got to break out some of that bandito one of these nights. So I was thinking a Halloween weekend in Vegas would be a good night to do it.
Now I might be having one of my. I might be importing a young lady into like Hocus Pocus. They come in on a broom.
I'll be in Vegas.
Yeah,
I'm working that night. So
yeah, I'm going to be drinking with you, Karyn.
Exactly. Although I should say, tequila is the one thing that makes me a little cray-cray. So I'll probably stick with my vodka.
I'll bring 2 bottles.
Yeah. Tequila next time I see you, Karyn Bryant.
At any rate, thank you so much for joining us. And hey, if you talk to Raw Dog, Brandon Royval, wish him the best for us this weekend because he's awesome. And Martinez as well. Like we said, we just love us some Cub.
Hey, may the best man win, right? May the best man win.
In those situations, that's how you have to look at it. Like, fuck it. I like both these guys. Hey, one of them, whoever's supposed to win that shit's gonna win it anyway, no matter how you feel about it,
Exactly.
Exactly.
But cool. But it's been really great having you on. And best of luck with the new place and everything. Congratulations on the new house. And I'll see you in like a couple weeks, I guess, right?
Yeah, 3 weeks. We'll catch up then.
And I'll see those tequilas in a couple.
Hey, give me your address.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use
Favela.
those. I'm gonna use those to feed my female guests,
Let's go.
All right. Thanks so much.
Hey, thank you guys. Have a good night.
Ciao.
See you later.
Ciao.
Bye.
He's a nice gentleman. What you know what?
What a nice guy.
Not only a nice guy, but you can tell you get a good sense, you get a good feeling from him, like he's a good person, or he could be just a guy who's so manipulative that he's making
he's actually a psycho. He's
from what I feel, it's like I feel like he's actually a good guy,
Yeah, no, he just has nice energy. Like, obviously, that's the most I had spoken to him. Like I said, I've seen him around, the Apex, and I was on the shuttle with him and Mark and Rodrigo Nascimento, a couple weeks ago or whatever.
I beat that horse into the ground. Your name dropping Dustin Jacoby. We already had him on the thing.
I'm just saying. Yes, that I was. It was nice to get to know him, and like you said. The guy has a bright future, and yeah, he's currently number 13. There's a lot of winnable fights for him ahead of him, you know. So
Yeah, and Khalil, let's be honest, that is gonna. I don't know who the fuck's gonna win that one.
that's a crackerjack.
I
That's yeah.
going the way, and fuck, I don't know. We'll see, and both of them don't fucking know either. So we'll see what happens.
Right. Although I will say, as you climb, you know, as obviously as anybody does, as you climb the ranks, though, you do have to start to get like really aware of being well-rounded, which obviously I'm sure he works on. But if your strengths are your strengths, you got to work on the, you know, you got to.
No, he's well-rounded, and
Yeah.
you know what? That's what I forgot to mention. I was gonna say something about his haircut. The only hiccup was the fucking draw to Hoochie Coochie.
Oh, Kutalaba, yeah.
And to be honest, I feel like him going to a draw with Hoochie Coochie maybe brought his name up more than the wins, because at the time Coochie Laba was supposed to beat the fucking guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody was really. I think everybody was banking on Hoochie Coochie Laba to fuck him up. So, because that guy, not just because of his stare downs and the antics and the painting his face and all that kind of stuff, but he was starting to become like one of these guys who people is talking about, you know?
Yeah.
Coochie Laba. And the fact that he arguably won that fight, you know what I mean? I mean, you could go either way on that one.
Yeah.
That was a big deal, I think, you know? And for the reason too, that Hoochie Coochie can take you the fuck down and beat you brains in, you know? And it didn't happen, you know? So, you know, that bode well for Dustin when it comes to being well-hounded, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you. And the one thing that was going through my head, and I think I said it a couple of times, when you have a name like Dustin Jacoby, his name could very easily be Justin Jacoby. Like, I think one or two times I might have called him Justin at one point, and then I said Dustin, and then my brain went to Stranger Things Dustin, but then I was like, is that his name? Is it? And then, like, I literally had a little bit of a tangent for a minute while we were talking. Like, what is his name? Because I kept transposing the D and the J.
I do that shit when I'm hunting for somebody I haven't seen in years, and I know them very well. And then I think, I'm like, yeah, what's her name? That's so. And then I go, that doesn't sound hype. You know what I mean? And then I'm
totally
right out. And then so you throw like a half-ass one that could be either one. You're like, hey, Eileen, or no. Eileen, you know what I mean? And they were like, what?
But you can always do the like, baby girl, right? Because we can always be like, you know, dudes always be like, what's up, champ? And hey, bro, and this and that. If I don't know somebody's name, it's like, my man, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like,
it's true, and that's easy. But the problem comes when you're not just by yourself, because you got to introduce that one, and that is fucking.
That's when I do the Tony Hale, you know, the Veep, the Tony Hale lean, where I go, you got to introduce yourself because I don't remember their name.
Oh yeah, I've had.
You know what I mean? And so like I lean in real fast, like you got to go first. I don't.
Absolutely, and if I have the opportunity, I always do that. However, a lot of time you don't. You get caught off guard, and then you're like, and then you just you kind of haul with it.
What I do is sometimes I'm like, oh my God, look at the two of you. Introduce yourselves. Da da da. Like, you know what I mean? You could kind of play it off.
I would sniff that out like a fart. If somebody did that to me, I'd be like, fuck out of here with that. Or
I would stall. And the one I don't know, even if they're highly, you know, that's the thing too, because then you get into respecting. Like I literally this weekend I was helping out. I did some introductions, long story short, but I did some introductions on something where I had to introduce a few Japanese people, and some of them were like businessmen, and one of them was like a sort of a UN or like a diplomat person, and da da da. So I was like, okay, I can't mess up their names, and I want to make sure I'm saying them respectfully, and I want to, you know, like it's sometimes when you're in a social situation, there's actually an etiquette to, you know, the quote unquote higher ranked person or the, you know, whatever, like the etiquette as to who you're supposed to introduce first. And so, yeah, that would suck if you couldn't remember somebody really important. That would suck.
Yeah. What do you call them? Sensei or senpai or some shit? Or you go like, hey, young blood? Or you go, hey, blood? Oos. Go, hey, Oos, young black.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, the thing is, and I will say, because that happens to me at work, generally in a lot of the work situations, because, and I've said this before, and you know this too from your days as an actor, that you, like, the crew doesn't wear name tags, right? But like the crew will know, okay, here's the people that work on the show. Their names are Renato and Karyn. You know what I mean? And so like you get there and everybody knows your name, but you never got everybody's name. And if you didn't, you know, so maybe the audio guy, because they get real up close and personal with me, and then maybe, you know, like obviously I know my stage manager's name and stuff like that, but like I don't necessarily know the camera people's names. I don't learn the gaffer's name. And then I don't want to feel like, I don't want them to think I'm not. So I try to learn everybody's names, but it's like you never really get introduced anyway. You know what I mean? It's tough.
No, I know it's a tough one. You know, when you world famous, locally respected and world, whatever the fuck is the thing, locally recognized, and locally, then everybody know about you, and then but you don't know nobody else.
Yeah,
so that's the story of my life here.
I'm just glad my hair is finally growing. Okay, so let's go now. We had the hit list before, so let's talk a little UFC Vegas 62. And I have a Cheaty's choice for Grasso versus Araujo. But, the thing I'm most interested in about 62 here, and we kind of touched on it a little while ago, is our good friend Cubby Swanch, who, what did I say? It was episode 18, did I say? Hold on, I know it. I have it right here. Cub was episode number 18. Yeah. Cubby Swanch, and Khalil was number 26. But Cubby's dropping in weight to 35.
Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he is kind of a small guy.
He is. Hey, look at it. It worked for Aldo. So you know what I mean? Plus or minus, it helped him, give him some more time, and he made a run.
Aldo is black, porra. I guess. Whatever.
I'm saying Aldo dropped in weight.
I know. I'm just fucking. Now, what was I gonna say?
The Cubby Swanch.
Cubby Swanch. The Grasso. Oh god, yeah, she's cute.
She's cute.
She's cute in a very girly kind of way. Very girly. Very cute. I do.
She's adorable. I think she's very, very cute.
You want to give her little kisses on the she's a cutie pie. She's attractive.
Well, she's not attracted from Hanach. At any rate, there's more to her than that, though. She's actually a great fighter. She is currently number 5 in the flyweight division, and so she is fighting number 6. So that's why this fight is, I was just going to say, there was a couple of other little stats I wanted to read. But yeah, so here we go. So it's number 5 versus number 6. So listen, she's on Alexa's on a nice win streak right now, because she got a win over Joanne Wood, Joanne Calderwood, who ended up marrying, John Wood. So now she's just Joanne Wood.
Yeah.
But yeah, Macy Barber and Ji Young Kim. And so then Araujo is number 6 right now. She also has beaten Andrea Lee, Roxy Modafferi, Alexis Davis. So, listen, it's an important fight for them. Number 5 versus number 6. And we do have a Cheaty's choice on this one, Renato, if you want to see who Cheaty thinks is going to win.
Yeah, and he was hyped the last time too, no?
He was. Cheaty picked Yan Xiaonan to beat Mackenzie Dern. I know you were upset by that. And I know, it was an underdog pick, and it seemed a little bit like, I don't know, but Cheaty was right. Cheaty's 7-1 right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's do that then. Let me get to the Cheaty's choice for tonight for Grasso versus Araujo. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Cheaty's Choice
Today, Chidi, the Fistivities bearded dragon mascot, will be choosing between the UFC Vegas 62 main event between Alexa Grasso and Viviane Araujo. This is number 5, Grasso versus number 6 in the flyweight division. What we're going to do right now, we're going to put Chidi down on one end. I'm going to take these.
This one's pretty intense, by the way.
Some arugula. We like to randomize the names here. Don't know.
I actually really like doing these.
Chidi does sometimes go to the right. That's why we randomize these. And I should tell you, last time out, Chidi correctly picked Jan for the upset win over Mackenzie Dern. Here we go, Chidi.
He goes to the right. He really does. And I'm trying to figure out why.
Really thinking about it this time.
He's high-handed.
He might be. So you might see a little
choice.
Oh, my assistant,
The kid, flyweights.
comes in to poke him to get him to move.
Grasso.
She's like,
Who's it gonna be?
I'm gonna call
Okay,
people.
Chidi went to the right.
He
often does.
This
Really was the reason behind the randomization of everything. Okay, Chidi. He is hungry today, and who is winning? It's hard to do this holding it. When Chidi has picked the number 5 flyweight, Alexa Grasso, for the win. Chidi has spoken. We shall see. We shall see.
I like the pick out on you.
I think it's the right pick.
Who's his favorite anyway? Now,
probably, yeah, probably. I just feel like she has a little bit more big time experience and stuff like that.
I can't picture Araujo now. Is she cute? I can't remember.
I'm not going to judge the lady fighters.
I just can't remember which girl she is.
Even though I did say Alexa's so cute because she is
but you don't
adorable.
want to say
But
something.
I
You just answered my question.
I would say Araujo may not be your type, Renato.
That's presumptuous, and frankly, whatever. Okay, I'll check your word for it.
I don't know.
Well,
Listen, Joe D said the lizard's going to ruin the parlay. Well, listen, I don't know what you put down, but like I said, his record is 7-1 right now. So
I think as long as John Konach don't put down a bet, you're gonna be safe staying with Chidi.
yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Alexa, she and Irene Aldana kind of came up together, and so she's been boxing all her life. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing, is that she's got real good hands. So
I like Aldana.
Aldana's good too. Yeah, I know. I like her too.
I like her attitude. She seems cool.
She does seem cool.
I follow her. Yeah, she seems nicey.
Doesn't she have a motorcycle or something?
I can't.
Or no?
I can't keep it straight.
I don't remember. Anyway, I do like her too. And so, yeah, so that fight is this weekend. And so we will see if Chidi gets it right again. We'll see.
What's the main, what's the
what?
Wait, never mind what I was gonna say. Let's focus on this. It's about
Brandon Hiya says you look even more cinnamony on his old TV. They are the main event, Renato. The girls are the main event. Is that what you were going to ask me? What's the main event?
The girls is the main event.
Were you literally about to ask me what the main event was?
How can they have it?
A couple of weeks ago, the ladies were the main event too. Mackenzie Dern, your countrywoman, and Yan Xiaonan. And now we have ladies again in the main event.
I was in denial of that.
It's 2022. I always, Chidi does the main event. And if the co-main event is particularly of interest, let's say if it's title fight or if it's one that it's a super hot button fight, then he'll do the co-main as well. But he always does main events. And so that's why he did the ladies.
I don't know that I like this trend. This is the great heat placement. They trying to place the man into the fighting, and then we're never gonna get to fight no more.
Except for 9/10 of every card being men.
Gay pride parade. How come they can't be a straight pride? Never mind. Next question. You don't even get it. You don't get what we go through as a man.
You guys are really getting marginalized, huh?
We've been marginalized, frankly, for too long. And we're not going to put up with that one no more. We're going to fight. You know what? We have a mind to fight back.
Are you going on a sex strike?
In fact, true. Good idea. You first on the list. You remember, I can easily be the dick Nazi. No dick for you. God,
are you Sergeant Gurballs?
No, I'm gonna put the mustachio.
All right.
Dick for you. God,
that was bad. Oh wait, that's what I meant to do.
You get the horn from fucking Price's Heights when you lose it. Go blah blah blah. That's kind of.
That was a really good joke, though.
I know. I like that. I listen. I like that one. But I like the horn. I wish you could get the best horn, loser horn in the world.
Oh, the trombone.
It goes.
Oh yeah. And then it's
and then Bob Barker go, oh, I'm sorry with that.
Well, I told you George Gray used to be my co-host on that Junkyard Boys show.
Again, I can't talk about Price's Heights without you fucking know. I mean, I bet if I brought up Supermarket Sweep, you fucking knew the executive producer. Oh, we went to Capri together. Oh, me, it was me, him, and Joe Blow. Ah, God, are you?
All right, let's move on. Okay, so one of the other things we wanted to talk about today on the hit list was favorite stand-up comedy specials. And I bring this up, Renato, the reason I wanted to talk about this, and I felt really bad because I couldn't remember the name when I started at the beginning of the show. But the other day, I watched this guy. I can't play it here either. Shang Wang so it's pronounced. Hold on, let me just say.
Shang Wang. I think you're talking about that Marvel movie. That one. Are you sure? The Marvel.
Yeah, no. He's really good. He's a comedian. He did a stand-up special, and it was really fun. It's called. Oh wait, no.
You're talking about Sheesh and Shroud.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about this guy, Sheng Wang.
I can't see shit on there.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the right picture off of Netflix or whatever. But anyway, it was really good. He's funny. It's called Sweet and Juicy.
Ooh, with a name like Wang, and then is he sweet and juice? That's right up the alley.
It was really. I really liked it. So he had stuff that like.
Wait a second. Is he the kid?
This guy
would be like a member of Steely Dan. Yeah, he looked like the Becker, Walter Becker or whatever from Steely Dan. God, are you?
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, this was the special, Sweet and Juicy.
I know. I've seen that now,
dude.
I didn't.
He's good. I really enjoyed that special, like a lot. I laughed a lot.
Who could you compare his style a little bit?
Kind of in the he's not like him, but in the Stephen Wright way of not like Stephen Wright is not as dry and not as deadpan, but that kind of observational comedic like twist.
Okay.
Yeah. So there were a couple things that he did that I was like, oh my God, like I can't even, I don't, but I was like, okay, so some of the stuff was like really, like I cracked up on it. I just found it very funny, and I liked his vibe. Like I liked his delivery. I just really enjoyed it. It's one that I watched recently, and I just really enjoyed it.
I love finding new comedians, so I'm gonna check that one out. I love that.
Yeah, but in terms of your canon, like your old school, because I just know I wanted to watch recent ones because I know that a lot of people talk about the old Eddie Murphy ones, right? And Richard Pryor, like back in the day, Robin Williams specials were amazing. I'm a big Ricky Gervais fan. Chris Rock has had some good ones, but I'm curious, like what's the favorites? And stuff?
I mean, for me, it's like movies. There's certain ones that is like. You know how there's certain ones that is like more crowd pleasing that you'd watch over and over again, but then another one that influenced that one that you've maybe not watched it as many times, but you can recognize that it was more important than like it was more. If it didn't happen, you would not have this stuff. You know what I mean? So there's
100%
category of this kind of shit. obviously the Godfather, the Marlon Brando, whatever, is Richard Pryor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's kind of there's before Richard Pryor and after Richard Pryor, so he's kind of the goat. But having said that, I have a lot of his specials and stuff like that, and I love them. But the funny thing is, I find myself going to, like, let's say Eddie Murphy Hall and Delirious, who clearly was influenced and almost hipped off Richard Pryor. But I find myself I feel like you'd be hard pressed to find a better piece of work than Eddie Murphy Hall. I mean, in just the way it look, the way he's dressed, the way it come off, the way. I mean, he's just
the quotability of it too. It's like it lived on so much. It became such a part of our conversation. It's such a part of our vernacular.
There's no fat on there. It's just 100% just he's killing you. And he's owning that shit. I mean, he's killing it. I mean, I think that's the most perfect shit that ever happened. I mean, if someone never seen stand up in their life somehow, I'm gonna send them that and go watch this shit. You know what I mean?
I could not agree more, and that's the thing is, I don't want to, because I will get into there's some other comedians that I really do like, and now it's funny, I meant to look them all up and then I completely am blanking on all of them now. But yeah, like to me, same thing. Like it's like the perfect storm apex moment of like Eddie's like great fame, and like you said, the look, he's glowing, the confidence, and the material was killing. Like everything about it is.
He's like a perfect stand-up because like LeBron James can do everything on the basketball court.
Right.
Eddie can do everything. Not only, I mean, he's also on top of it, he's good looking, but he can tell stories. He can do dead on impressions. He can do one-liners. He can do clean. He can do filthy. He can do anything you want. And on top of that, as if that's not enough, the guy can sing like and can imitate people's singing style. So it's like, it's almost unfair, the fucking guy. And he's a sketch comedy genius. It's like, he's almost like the perfect fucking comedian that ever lived, I mean,
yeah, no, he really is. And you're right. Like the reason not the reason, but one of the contributors to the greatness of that special is, like you said, because he's such a great actor and he really inhabits the characters and the things that he's doing. And he's so funny. And like, it's just, he just completely owns the stage and just completely kills it. And the thing is, and there's some Chris Rock specials that I've really, really liked. And there's been some Chappelle ones that I've really, really liked. And then some of the Chappelle ones, I'm like, he kind of meanders, like, because there's times when I'm like, okay, dude, you're too high. And like, now you're too high. You know what I mean? And you're like, no, I'm not feeling it as much. Yeah. But the one Chris Rock special that I didn't like was, do you remember the one? And I forget which one it was called, but like, where they cut to like 3 different places where he was doing it. So he would do the setup of a joke, let's say in New York, and then the payoff would be in Rio. And I was like, I didn't like that. It was a
creative choice. I don't think it was the material was the problem. It's like that creative choice maybe didn't serve the
right. But, so I thought it wasn't, but I've loved like some of the Ricky Gervais ones.
With Dave Chappelle, he's one of those guys that's not unlike Richard Pryor, where he was the next person that shook up the status quo or whatever, like he was the next guy that borders on like a genius, and I don't like to throw those words out, but the chances that he takes and he has something, that's why people kind of look at him now like he's this generation's Richard Pryor. Because there's the one comedian that everybody kind of bow down to at this time is this guy, because no one can kind of do what he can do, Well,
I would argue that he's a combination of Richard Pryor and George Carlin, because I watched the George Carlin documentary, you know, specials on Netflix, and it obviously includes a lot of his stand-up and stuff like that. And it's that kind of thing. The thoughtfulness of Carlin is a lot of what Chappelle is doing.
And
to
give credit where credit is due, because having said all this about Richard Pryor, Carlin, Chappelle, even though, like I said, Eddie, I feel is like the best.
Yeah.
Fucking Richard is like the Godfather. If not for one man, I feel like one important person who predated all of them. If he didn't exist, we might never have had them, and that's Lenny Bruce.
I was just gonna say Lenny Bruce, right? Yeah.
And listen, he was the first guy who put his life on the line.
Yeah.
To be able to
Truly.
say he had more courage than anybody. He was almost like a Muhammad Ali of comedy, because he was willing to get locked up. He was willing to be persecuted. You know, he was willing to fight the system to say what the fuck he wanted to say. And because of the gains, the boundaries that he broke, he allowed a Carlin or a Richard Pryor to think differently about what can be even said on stage.
Agreed.
As even though I couldn't find as much videos and performances that would be as titillating and as fun as some of the Richard Pryor or the Eddie Murphy, he's almost more important than any of them, you know? So it's interesting, you know, like you may love, I don't know, like myself, Led Zeppelin, okay?
Right.
And even though I don't listen to as much like Little Richard is probably more important in Rock and Roll. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not always about who's your favorite. It's also what are we judging here? Are we judging who was the most important, or who's your favorite? You know, and there's varying degrees of what are we talking about, you know?
Well,
so,
right. And
for different stuff.
Agreed. And I so, like, for example, if I'm just sitting around and I had a couple of cocktails and maybe it's late and maybe I'm like doing my jigsaw puzzles or something and I want something on and I know I want to laugh and I'm just going to like kick it or whatever. So I like Jim Gaffigan.
Okay, because it's not too hot, not too cold. It's just.
And so I like Jim Gaffigan, and I like the one who had that show Crashing on HBO, that other like pasty Pete Holmes. Okay, so those there. If I'm looking for like kind of easygoing comedy or whatever, it's but like actually some of the stuff that what's his face does there, that last one I just showed you, he actually does make me laugh on some of his stuff, because he's funny, because he's got like 4 kids or 9 kids or some amazing amount of kids or whatever. But I will say this, and I know it's so Gaffigan, I'm not when we've joked about this before, not quote unquote not allowed, but I love Louis C.K. His stand-up specials are so freaking funny.
Listen.
And like, I know he got canceled and all this stuff.
None of that.
Dude, he's hilarious.
He is. I mean, he's another fucking one that around the time of Chappelle was doing shit that other people wasn't doing, and was taking hits that other people wasn't taking. And I remember before he was a household name, I had the DVD of one of those specials. I can't remember which one. I would bring it places and show people. I would be like, yeah, I have to see this. Not enough people is talking about this fucking guy, you know?
Right. Well, how people used to go around with the old Steve Martin records. Well, excuse me, and all that.
I was too young at that time, but for this, I was like, I think you gotta see this shit, because I admit, Eddie Izzard just to kill.
Eddie Izzard. I actually went to see Eddie Izzard in concert live once, because he's funny.
Okay,
his act kind of changed some, but he was good. Yeah.
I have to admit, that's a person that I've not investigated. That I know people vouch for him. I haven't gotten into his shit yet, which I would. But another person I think that we forgot, who I think is some influence on Chappelle, is also Bill Hicks, because he died young, but he was also another one that would sit up there and not only bare his soul and get dark, but he was also he didn't mind if you wasn't pleased by what he was doing up there. He was like, take it or leave it. You can walk out, but I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say here. And I think he was another comedian that's like, he's like a James Dean figure, like where people is like, no one has a nothing but respect for him in the comedy world, where they're like, yeah, I got you. He's almost like the Sasquatch. He's a legend. He's like, yeah, I remember I got you see, or I got you open for fucking Bill. You'll hear big.
Right.
You're like, yeah, I got you open for Bill Hicks, or I saw him once live on the fucking whatever. You know?
Once, yeah. Well, and it is
fucking
interesting.
Fucking cigarettes, just like fucking Dave Chappelle.
Dave does, yeah.
I got to see back in 1993. I got to see Dave Chappelle before nobody knew who he was, and he was a young guy, very young at the time, and he was open up for. This was when Jon Stewart was huge, even way before, but he was huge as a comedian, and he also had that talk show that was kind of like, you know, James Corden or whatever, like
right. It was the MTV, the one that spun off of when, because I was there at MTV when the Jon Stewart show first started and all that.
Just that Jon Stewart show, and he was big at the time, and fucking Chappelle opened for him.
Yeah,
and Chappelle was on fire. I mean, Chappelle was good. I remember I was like, who is this fucking guy? And coincidentally, later that night, I was in some little bar. You know, back in New York at that time, we used to go to like a little bar before you go to either the big party or the big.
Of course, yes.
But first, to just kind of, you with your good little friends and you're having some.
You're a little right.
And it was at just this little bar in the village called Kettle of Fish. You probably remember that one.
I think so. It was on 2nd Avenue or something,
or some shit. I can't remember now.
Yeah, same artist.
And I saw him in there, you know, and he wasn't famous, and he was just, I think it was who is his wifey now, but it looked like it was just his girlfriend at the time, was just this woman or whatever. And I went up, I was like, my man, we just saw you in the thing. He was great. And he was like so nice. And ever since that, you know, and she was nice, and he looked happy to get, you know, he was like very grateful.
Yeah.
And I just followed that kid and hoot for him. And it's so funny to see who was a kid. Now he's like the elder statesman, Richard Pryor, fucking guru. It's just interesting when you see, I'm blessed to have saw him, you know, I love that I saw him in that young phase, and that in the just the beginning days like that, you know?
Yeah, that's fantastic. And like you said, to be able to give him a high five after is pretty great. I will say the one other comedian that I remember when I was a kid that had a big impact that was also very quotable was Sam Kinison, and the whole move to where the food is. That was one of the most iconic specials ever.
Okay. You're going to trick the fuck out, okay? And this is going to change how you think of Sam Kinison from now on. Because I love Sam Kinison, and I fell in love with Sam Kinison because of when I first saw him was in Back to School. You remember
God.
That teacher? He's like, that's the popular idea of what happened.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think that was, but I couldn't because I was there with M16 up to my rice paddy. You know, hey, brother, right here, back to the You know, that shit was fucking, he was just on fire. No, but here's what's crazy about this. I was listening to a fucking podcast, and I think I can't remember if it was Mark Maron or it was one of these fucking things where old comedians talk about shit.
Right.
Somebody who used to be a roommate of his or some shit, offhanded. It wasn't even like, it was just in passing. He was like, oh yeah, you know what I found out? You know what Sam told me? He broke down what his whole style was and how he happened upon that style that he has. He's like, oh, I was just doing Gene Wilder. He was like, that's just Gene Wilder breaking down. Like you ever seen Gene Wilder?
Okay, that actually makes sense.
Something like that. And he was just like, yeah, that's just Gene Wilder when he unravels. And then I started to really think about that, and I was like, wow. I would have put, that's the beauty of it.
But that's
it's pretty like hip-hop song sampling some shit that don't fit with that one, but somehow it fit perfect, you know? And it was like just the cadence, how he hamps up and flies.
Gene Wilder was so good.
He was another one. I hate throwing around genius, but I
loved him.
Those guys
loved him.
Talk about Gene Wilder. That performance of fucking Willy Wonka, of all things, should have won a fucking Oscar. It's one of the most.
I love that so much.
Fucking unbelievable performance. It's a shame that comedies or children movie or whatever the fuck you want to call that movie can't be taken seriously, because he deserves an Oscar. Who could do that?
If that came out now and people saw it like that now, I feel like he would get the recognition for it, because he was amazing in that. For folks who don't know, you know, Johnny Depp obviously remade it, and I like Johnny Depp, and I like Johnny Depp's version, but the old Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder is fantastic, and he just crushes it.
And I love Johnny Depp as an actor, and I think he's he's one of those kind of
he's awesome,
savant, like
chameleon-y, and exactly,
crazy good. And one of the thing I respect about him is he takes wild swings, and most of the time they work. For me, that one just didn't fucking work.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was the teeth, because it was like the teeth did all the acting.
I feel like he was playing like Michael Jackson or something. You know how he was trying to play like, I felt like it was Michael Jackson at the fucking Neverland Ranch or something. You know?
Okay. And maybe that was his source material. So, you never know.
Wild swing, more power to him. I have to respect that, but it didn't do it for me.
I just love the original so much that nothing was going to compare.
You know who I think is like a person who should take a crack at something like that? There's a couple actors. I would want to see like a Joaquin Phoenix version. You know, he's like the only actor that I
you just said. I mean, don't get me started on Joaquin Phoenix.
Him or something like
To Die For. Joaquin Phoenix in To Die For is
To Die For. No, he's great. He's great. Even back then, as a young kid, he was fucking amazing. Yeah, he's a special. He's Thelonious Monk. I mean, he's in Terrified Air, you know.
Yeah,
he's up there with the now of course I can't think of his fucking name, but we know him, that, you know, the English guy, Daniel Day-Lewis. He's up there.
Yes, exactly. He's
people that you like, what is this guy even? How
did it right? A question for you though. One thing and this is very telling, because this is very true of the industry in and of itself. And I've watched, you know, there've been a couple of TV shows that have dramatized, you know, stand-up comedy and stuff, but it is very much harder for women, right? So it's not a thing that
to be in Willy Wonka.
No. To be stand-up comedians, they just don't get the same amount of respect. They don't get the same promotion. They don't get. So the Ali Wong, who I do think is funny, and I remember watching one of her recent specials on Netflix, and I liked it. And it wasn't the one about the snake belly one with the baby mom, but I like her. And there's been some people that, you know, I do like. And Amy Schumer, you know, some of hers have been good, and I know that some people find her really problematic, and like she got halfway canceled. So she's done some really hilarious things. I'm okay with her, I guess, but like I know some people really don't like her.
I like her in the hosts. I think she's very good in hosting people, like in those. I like that. Her stand-up comedy is not bad. It's just it doesn't. I'm never checking for that one. I'll tell you who. Right. Anytime this woman, for my money, the best female comedian for my style and what I like is Sarah Silverman.
Well, you can't really talk about her right now. Black Twitter is mad at Sarah Silverman right now.
Why? What happened from her?
Go ahead and finish your thought, though.
Whatever. I just the way her skill as a fucking comedian, for a female comedian, I mean, for any comedian compared to anybody, she can hold her fucking own. You know how I judge? She make me fucking belly laugh out loud, and I'm dying laughing. That's how I know she's good for her. And she don't mind to be dark and dirty. I even had her fucking autobiography, and that was bold. She talked about pissing herself and wetting the bed. She was a bedwetter. You know that? She was. I didn't know that. She was a bedwetter till the age of like 16, where she couldn't. Know that. And it was like who her fucking like she was an outcast. Yeah. And then here's one more funny, sad fucking thing about it. She was so fucked up from this, and she was also like kind of had some mental issues aside the bedwetting. So she saw a therapist. How about this? She was very dependent on the therapist. Then one summer or whatever, the therapist fucking killed himself.
Oh my goodness.
And then the kid of the therapist went to her high school, and she had to like see the kid. Yeah, it was like a nightmare.
Holy cannoli.
About what? Are you talking about from the blackface shit or whatever?
Well, yeah. So there's the blackface thing, but it's even more. It's more than that. So she's in trouble right now because basically she tweeted something. I don't want to get it wrong because I want to get it right because wait, what? So she tweeted about Kanye, and she tweeted something essentially to the point of, why does it seem like it's only Jewish people who speak out against anti-Semitic things,
Okay.
in public? Why does it seem like it's mostly only, the Jewish people themselves that do that?
Yeah.
And so then, I guess apparently, Black Twitter piled on her, and they were like, girl, please, like we roasted Kanye a long time ago. Like we kicked him out a long time ago. Like we maybe aren't roasting him today because like we were already done. You know what I mean? Like we don't listen to him anymore.
That's not an excuse. He said some hateful fucking shit.
He absolutely did. Like I said, I didn't get involved in this thing. I'm just telling you what I read on Twitter. And so I guess some people were mad. Some people were mad because they were like, hey, no, in fact, a lot of people have been speaking out against him. You just didn't notice because you don't follow Black Twitter. You know what I mean? And so it
to me,
it played one of these things. Anyway, then somehow Holly Robinson Peete got involved. And then Sarah was like calling out Holly Robinson Peete for not talking about it's some stupidness. Like I said, I went down like a 10-minute rabbit hole looking at this dumb idiot stuff today. But my point is just that. And then of course, yes, people start posting the pictures of Sarah in blackface and blah, 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 blah. So she's kind of in hot water for that today because of, she, whatever. But to your point, there have been things that she did that I did think were funny. I think with her, she's one of those people where I'm more like, yeah, that's an intelligent girl. And I see that she is thoughtful and like thinks of the construction of the joke and like it's maybe a higher level to some of the comedy, you know what I mean? And some of these things. But she doesn't necessarily like crack me up, but I have appreciated some of her stuff.
She does for me. She does it for me. And that's all subjective. Whoever make you laugh, nobody's hide or hung. If somebody make you laugh, they make you laugh. But back to the other fucking thing. People, what Kanye said, fuck what he said. That White Lives Matter thing, that's petty. First of all, he's a fucking idiot because he doesn't even know what DEF CON is.
I know, he's an idiot.
And people call him a fucking genius. He's a fucking idiot, first of all, uneducated, to not know what the fuck that means and to say that. And to say that he's gonna go after a fucking whole religion and culture of people.
It's terrible.
And especially knowing the history of all that. Pooey, like fuck. I don't even know what to say. You know what I mean? Fuck you. And I was pissed off for Jewish people, but I can only imagine if I was Jewish to hear someone say some shit like that. Or I'm too tired right now, but when I get up, it's gonna be that. Yeah. Fuck you. And for him to have the ball, and who the fuck is you anyway? What are you gonna do about, what are you gonna do to Jewish people? Like he's so egotistical. Well, I'm gonna go do this to Jewish people. Yeah, but the sick thing is that it just perpetuates some fucking bullshit, and we don't need that. No matter if he's talking about Jewish or Muslims or whoever the fuck he's talking about. I don't care if he's talking about people I hate. Don't be doing that shit. You know what I mean?
Agreed. Somebody made the point that they were like, well, he's saying that hateful stuff and he has more followers than there are Jews on planet Earth. You know what I mean? And so they were like, it actually is dangerous if he says these things because like if he mobilizes whatever, but I guess at this point, I'm just curious who, and maybe there are some people here in the comments that are, but like, who are the Kanye like fans? Like, because I'm not going to lie. There are some of his songs that I do like, but like, I don't own any of his records or anything like that. I would never buy any of his crappy, ugly clothes. I think it's ugly. And so like, I don't understand who's still supporting him. And this is a completely honest, I mean this in the honest, pure sense of like, if you are, why? Because I maybe you agree with him. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
It ain't me because I put it to you this way. Even before all the super duper crazy shit, his music was never that good to me where I could.
He is racist. Yeah.
His music was never that sensational to me where I could look past him just being an arrogant prick. You know what I mean? Like when he was just a garden variety fucking asshole, that was enough to turn me off. I didn't care for that shit. His attitude, I just don't like it. You know, he turned me off. But now with all this shit, fuck, what a poison fucking pill. He's a poisonous. But
he is.
In any case, in her defense, you know, I think people who is not Jewish should jump on her and say, "Oh, when and you should have did this." Let somebody vent for a second after somebody said they're gonna come after their people. You know what I mean? You don't have to make it about you. And I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about even Black Twitter. Like, let her to vent about it. You know, you don't have to.
But she was attacking people in her vent. She was saying nobody else stands up for us, and everyone was like, "No, actually, we do." They were just refuting her take. Is all.
And it feels that way. She can fucking say that, and that's okay. You know what I mean? And maybe
like I said, I guess it was that some of the things that she then went back at, like some of her clapbacks to people, were like kind of a little bit what set people off.
Listen, man. You know, the way I look at it, it's not the time to go after her when she's hurting about what somebody fucking said about them. You know what I mean? It's not the time, because she didn't say, "Hey, Black people." You know what? The thing about Black people is they never say shit or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like,
but okay, I know we weren't good. I know, but so many people don't say shit when Black people are when Black people get ragged on. No, a lot of people don't say anything.
Yeah, and guess what? If you came out and said something about it, should somebody go, "Oh yes, we do"?
They will. I'm saying they have a right to. Guess what? That's what Twitter is.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's chicken shit, and it's attention. People want attention. They want to make it about them or whatever. Instead of, how about this? Take that energy, instead of attacking her, go and say something say something to Kanye instead. Say something.
I get it. I just think that if you're gonna make a bold statement on Twitter saying nobody does such and such, you got to expect that those people that you just sort of maligned are gonna probably respond.
Well, I have to say this. I don't know that she was maligning anyone. I think she was saying, "Hey, how about some support?" You know what I mean?
She was.
Yeah, I think that's what she was asking for. And to be honest, the only fucking people I did see say shit about it of people who I follow. And by the way, I didn't say shit about it. I didn't make a video about it. I didn't clap at Kanye or whatever. You know, I didn't say shit. So I'm one of the people who didn't say shit. Mm-hmm. Okay, but the only people I saw was Jewish people. You know, and I saw the only one that really stand out in my mind is Michael Rappaport, where he was.
Yeah, I saw that clip. I saw that.
And he's standing up for his fucking people or whatever, you know.
Well, because he was also mad though, because he's like, "Look, I defended you before." True. He defended Kanye, so he really feels like he got sold out.
Have a Black wife, and he probably got more Black followers than fucking most Black people, because he's in that culture and stuff.
You know, I'm in a movie with Michael Rappaport, right?
Which one? Zebra Head or whatever?
Special.
Like in He Shot It?
He plays, it's called Special, where he plays like a wannabe superhero. I'm in it.
Oh, I didn't saw that one. Okay, I gotta look out for that now, because I think I remember when that came out.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
But anyway, look at, and that's really what it kind of degenerates into, right? It's like, for example, I specifically choose not to talk about politics and things on social media, right? So yes, you could also attack me for not speaking out against Kanye. Well, guess what? I also did not speak out against this thing, and I did not speak out against that thing, and this law that passed, and this thing that happened, and this, like, because I don't want to use my social media for that. You know what I mean?
I think that this guy, the shit that guy said, most people, if they said that, there would be a fucking shitstorm against.
Well, he got banned, and they did all the things they're supposed to do, right? I mean,
he's still Kanye.
He's supposedly, Adidas is supposedly re-examining the contract with him, and blah blah blah. But he still makes people money, so they probably will keep him.
I think the problem that if I'm gonna guess, the problem that she's having is this guy over and over again.
Yeah,
just says the fucking, is a divisive, mean-spirited fucking piece of shit, and he just gets away with it over and over again.
There's a couple of people like that. Yeah,
he keeps Kanyeing around, and he's still got gazillions of followers and makes billions of dollars.
Gee,
and And I think she probably feels like this guy just said like the nastiest fucking thing against a people, and life goes on for this fucking guy.
I agree. I understand why she's upset. I get it.
If I was Jewish, frankly, I'd be like, how the fuck is this guy? Like, what the fuck he just said? Like, put it. Imagine if somebody said that about black people.
Well, that's the whole thing they do. I mean, they do say all kinds of awful things.
Imagine now, what's like a country music version of Kanye? Like, what? What would be like a
don't ask me about country music.
Imagine if that guy tweeted, hey, I'm kind of tired right now, but
in the morning I'm gonna hang some people from some trees until
DEFCON 3 on blacks.
Yeah. But they do say it all the time, Renato, every day since
I'm saying now in 2022, if somebody had the fucking gall to come out and say that in plain English, I'm gonna go DEFCON whatever on black people tomorrow. Wait till you see what they got coming.
I'm not arguing with you. I agree with you. People would lose.
And if people was like, hey, that's just Kanye, he's a little different. He's not a sheep or whatever. I'd be like, huh?
Right, but that's a whole other conversation about enabling people like Kanye, and people know, like, he gets clicks, right? He gets views, so they keep giving him the airtime. If people just said, you know what, yeah, you are an effing menace to society, like, let me not cover you. Like, we could collectively make him go away. It's just that everybody keeps giving him more time.
Tui. No, thank you. Anyway, I hate that we even got on that fucking guy.
I know, like I said, I didn't even want to go that far.
Oh, how much I like fucking Sarah Silverman. God,
but like I said, I know. I guess that's on me because I brought up why she's problematic right now. But I literally was only looking at that earlier today because I didn't know about it, and I was like, oh my god.
Second thing, because anybody who just tuned in and doesnn't even know about the whole blackface.
Oh yes, right. What we were talking about.
That fucking blackface thing was from a TV show that she did, okay, called the Sarah Silverman Show or whatever. It was like a Dave Chappelle show kind of thing.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But what people will leave out of the conversation about the blackface thing was that in the episode, her and a black comedian or a black jazz musician or something like that, I can't remember what the guy was because he was famous in his own right. They switched places, okay?
Yeah.
And it was very broad. And he was like in Hasidic Jewish shit. And he went in, and it was kind of pranking both things. So he went to synagogue and was around like Hasidic people. And he was doing all kind of inappropriate Jewish humor. And she went in that shit and went to like a gospel church.
Yeah.
And they're making it like, you know what I'm saying? You're cutting out the context of this shit.
Dude, listen.
Not you.
I know.
I said you. I'm saying the people who is.
I know you don't mean me. But I was going to say, because look, I watched Mad Men, and I'm rewatching it again. There's an episode where Roger Sterling does blackface because this was set in the early in the 60s, and he's in blackface. And they even said before the episode, they're like, this episode has blackface, and we know it's problematic, and blah 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 blah. But we're keeping it intact because we didn't want to, mess with the integrity of the show. Blah 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 blah. No, my point is and I get it. Yeah, like context is everything. And so it's unfortunate that people just do screen grabs and blah, 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 blah. But I'm just thinking as an actor, that would be very stressful. Like, I really wonder, I would love to know, I forget Roger Sterling's real name, blanking on his name, but like to interview the actor about that scene, because I would imagine that's pretty stressful because you're going to get flack for it. It's wrong. And like it, but you know what I mean? But you're an actor and it's part of it. Like, I just imagine that's probably pretty heavy actually doing that.
I think we got to imagine that shit because look, in acting, we're making believe. Look, the guy who plays Dahmer doesn't go home and eat people.
Right.
And I don't know that he's gay. I don't know that he's a murderer. I know that not from 1981 or whatever the fuck. It's an act. It's an act. It's like It's like.
Well, you can't cancel comedians anyway. Like, as soon as they start to get like the whole point of what they do is to do it. Like, that's why they exist.
Especially when it comes to an actor, it's like
Yeah.
If you watch Mississippi Burning and a guy's playing a Klansman and he's saying the fucking N-word a bunch of times, what do you want him to do? Not fucking say it? That's the point of the fucking thing. When you see somebody murder something in it, doesn't mean the fucking is a murderer. If a guy's a drug dealer, Darth Vader is not Darth Vader. I got news for you.
Got news for you. Right. You're talking to look at, it takes a lot to get me upset about things. You know what I mean? Like, it takes a lot. So I am definitely not one of those like snowflakey, whatever people who can't look at stuff and stuff. Like, it takes a lot to upset me.
It doesn't mean
but yes, yeah.
In fact, the funny thing about it is the reason why sometimes people in comedy do these kinds of stuffs, if they're doing the height stuffs,
right?
It shed a light on the ridiculousness of the prejudice or whatever. I got news for you. Borat doesn't hate Jews in real life, okay? And
right.
Doing that shit because he's an anti-Semite, okay?
Right.
So parody. It's like, if you use your it's called irony, and if you use your fucking brain, you can understand that. And it's like sometimes I think people shoot themselves in the foot when they check in a person who's actually a fucking ally trying to help them, and they wanna you're attacking the wrong fucking people here.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. Look, at Sarah Silverman is not a hill I'm gonna die on, but I agree with your point.
Yeah, I just look, don't go after people who's actually on your side. God, what a waste of fucking energy, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
Out for each other. How about this? How about if you no matter what political party you're with, okay? If you're a liberal, how about this? Don't wake up one day and tweet, hey, tomorrow, I'm tired right now, but tomorrow I'm going DEFCON whatever on all Republicans. You guys is fucked now. I'm gonna go. It's not serving us to take whole groups of people and go, guess what? Fuck you. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's never gonna be a good idea.
It's never a good idea. It's never a good idea
if it's gonna be racist. It's not religion, politics. Yeah. You know, the only person who you're allowed to be like that about is Vinny Margalesh. It's not us versus them, whatever, but it is us versus Vinny Margalesh. That's the only person who do that with because he's a pig.
Okay.
And obese.
I got a great idea.
Yeah.
Let's move on to something else.
Well, how about this? Let's finish about comedian.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows those fucking comedians that we just talked about. And you did a good job. You brought up some people that people don't know about. But I will say a couple comedians to look out for that I just love that a lot of people don't talk about, you know? One guy that always make me laugh kind of in tears, and it's funny because he looked like he's not even trying, is this guy Todd Barry.
I love Todd Barry.
For some fucking reason, that guy, and I guess he wouldn't be everybody's cup of tea. Something about that fucking guy, everything that come out of that guy fucking mouth, especially when he fuck with people in the audience, I'm dead.
So you like the deadpan kind of guys though, huh?
If they do it,
he's good.
He is a master. He's a black belt. And he did a whole thing of just crowd work. He did a whole tour of
nice.
Where he doesn't come with any material.
Well, that's big to be able to do that.
Sure. And he shows you, he doesn't do that thing where they cut with the punchlines or whatever because he's doing new material. But he shows you different shit from different shows. But he'll go to Portland, whatever, and, you know, Austin and New York or whatever. And simply him and a mic doesn't know what's going to happen. He just fucks with whatever.
That's awesome.
And he is a killer, man.
I love that kind of stuff. And I have a feeling like that's the kind of comedy I would do because I would probably come with some jokes. But I like working a room. Like I said, the thing I did the other day, like I like having a hot mic and a crowd. Like those are two of my favorite things. I say that all the time. Like I like that kind of stuff.
That's my style. I did a little bit of stand-up. And when I do it, I would say the only stuff I have hidden is to fall back on.
Right.
So
I would much rather.
So I have weapons. It's like I have pepper spray. I have a knife. I have a gun. And hopefully I don't need to use that ones. But I feel more comfortable if he's there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I prefer the danger and the newness of spinning something out of thin air, you know, or
Same.
with what's in front of you. It's almost like freestyle rapping or something like that.
Agreed.
Love
Hey,
that.
did you see Ronnie Chang's special on Netflix? That was pretty good.
I didn't saw that one.
Okay, but Todd Barry is funny. Like you said, I think partly what's funny about him, and it falls into that whole idea. Remember back in the day, the old Joe Piscopo and different things like that. And even with Dane Cook for a little bit of like how people are like, well, a comedian can't be too fit and a comedian can't be too ripped or whatever, like, because you're not funny. And Todd Barry is that guy. That's why I think that's what adds to his comedy so much, is that he's so, people would call him a beta, you know what I mean? But he's like small, and you can tell like he doesn't work out, but that factors into the act, and
But
he's very funny.
Fucking, he's also got a mean streak.
He does.
He will just fucking eviscerate you. Like, you cannot win with this fucking guy.
He's good. I do like him. Okay, who else do you like?
And he's not like a secret. I mean, he's not new, you know. But on the newer guys, like, thankfully, I hate the algorithm on Instagram and stuff like that. But every once in a while, it does show me a comedian. It shows me a younger comedian that I will discover that I would have never discovered. And fuck, I'm gonna forget this guy's last name, but he's a fat Greek guy from Baltimore. And his name is Stavros something, and people know him as like Stavy Baby or whatever. And I follow him on Instagram, and he shows clips, and he does a lot of crowd work, and he's so sharp and so fucking sharp. But unlike Chad Barry, he has like this pure joy where he laughs at his own shit, and it's like a genuine laugh. And he's just infectious, and he just has something where I think he might be my favorite new young comedian.
Really?
He's so fucking funny, this guy. Okay. And I just think I'm such an asshole because his handle is like Stavy Baby. So like I see that more than I see his heel fucking name. So
got it. Yeah.
It's like I forget.
Stavros Halkias.
Yeah,
Somebody Ender Band is saying Stavros Halkias. Is that right?
Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. Halkias. Yes. See, Halkias.
Stavi is bro. The Halkias boys did an art podcast.
Yeah. And he's from Baltimore, and he just has this, you can tell he grew up like poor and immigrant. You know, he grew up with like a Greek father that barely spoke any fucking English. And like, he just a specific flavor that's all his own.
Nice.
And it's just, I'm feeling it. The vibe. I'm feeling.
I got to agree with the Ender Band. I actually know Dave Attell, and he's hilarious. Like Attell used to be. I used to see Attell sometimes. He used to come by MTV, and he's friends with my friend, and so we used to go down on like McDougal Street and go see him at the Comedy Cellar and stuff like that. Attell, you want to know I think Attell is the best at roasting hecklers. Like he will, you want to talk about eviscerating? Like, he will just level a roaster. I mean, a heckler.
And he's a miserable son of a bitch, so he don't mind.
Speaking of old angry Jews, he's just like, he's hilarious.
With him, he's like, okay, you know what I mean. He's another one. He's a comic. Like maybe in Middle America they don't know who he's. David Chow, like he's not a household.
He's so funny.
But every comedian knows David Chow, he respects David Chow, and he's scared of David Chow.
Totally.
You know, he's one of those guys. He's a like almost like an actor's act. He's a comedian.
Yeah. He's like
a guitarist that every guitarist knows and goes, oh God, you're that guy.
I was just gonna say, and like a choral belt when it comes to snapbacks and clapbacks.
Anyway, here's another. Let's say two guys that recently passed away that was in that same thing of like comedian that was funny, that was just no one had a bad word to say about. One is Norm Macdonald.
Norm, everybody loves him.
Just in a lane all his own. And God damn it, I fucking love that guy. One of my all-time favorite. That guy. By the way, my fucking phone is about to fucking die.
Okay, we're almost done anyway.
So that. And then also, I think Gilbert Gottfried got a reputation where people got lost in the fact, the gimmick of the voice and all that. But when you saw him in those hosts and shit like that, he was he was a mad genius, you know. When you hear stories from comedians, he's another one. Like everybody would be like, oh, Gilbert Gottfried, oh, it was a killer. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to follow Gilbert Gottfried. You know what I mean? Like on the whole and stuff. So like he was one of those kind of unsung hero too. You know? Love that guy. Oh, and there's an old comedian who's been around for ages, and he's even like a senior citizen. He's an old kind of fat, fucking fucked up looking old dude that I discovered kind of in the past couple years. And Granch, if someone said they did not like him and didn't think he was funny, I wouldn't argue. It's almost like, you know, like a weird foreign film or something like that. Like, but he just happened to do it for me. But he's this guy named Eddie Pepitone. And if you said to me, I don't get it, or that's not my bag, or I don't know what he's doing up there, I wouldn't go, you crazy. I could see him not being people's bag. For some reason, when I saw this guy, I was like, this guy's fucking high level. Like something about, and he's another one that people will talk about Eddie Pepitone. Like other comedians will be like, oh, Eddie Pepitone. But I had heard the name, never knew who he was, locked up on one of his videos or something. And I was like, oh, this guy, God, are you? He hit my funny bone too, but very weird, unorthodox. It was strange. So I can't heck him with all people, but I think certain people who like him is really gonna like that.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. That's cool. Well, yeah, I think we've gotten some.
Before my shit dies here, the late great Patrice O'Neal. I think that we lost one of the greatest comedian of all time. He's almost like Len Bias or something. He's almost like a fucking basketball player that died on the night of the draft or something. We got that's one of the greatest hobberies of life, like for us to be cheated of the career of Patrice on he would have been one of the fucking all-time greats. Patrice O'Neal. Talk about fearless. Man.
Yeah, it would have. Hey, look, it would have been great to have Freddie Prinze around longer too. So
Freddie Prinze too, yeah. I wasn't a hound too really. I was too young, you know, but you know, I'm a spring chickens, you know.
No, I'm just saying he was somebody that died young. You were talking about dying young. He died very young.
I remember that because look, what did they do?
I wasn't there.
I'm Hayes the Hoof. I do the dab. I do chick chop.
Don't do that though. The other thing I was gonna say is a friend of the show who we'll have on something. Preacher Lawson, my buddy, is a funny comedian who used to be on America's Got Talent. I met him on it's funny because I used to literally watch AGT. We'd watch the show, and then it was like, oh, vote for him. He's really funny. Long story short, is one of the great things about social media. Tweeted him a couple times. Next thing you know, we're friends. Like he's like I guested on the podcast that I used to do with Angela. He actually is training MMA now, and he's done a few smokers, and he's like really into it. He's a great guy and very, very funny, very physical. Got some really funny, great physical comedy. Preacher Lawson.
Okay, so say his name again so people can.
Preacher Lawson. People should definitely check him out. Preacher Lawson.
We gotta help these people because there's some funny fun. That's what I love for social media. For all the shit that is make me fucking tear my hair out. That's the one thing is like people who I never would have known about. I can finally I found these guys, and I'm like, where's this fucking person been all my life? You know?
Well, exactly, and it's funny because I meant to, after watching that Shang Chang thing, I meant to take a picture of it and like tweet it. I'm gonna do it in a story or something because, like I said, I was legit cracking up at some of the stuff, and like I said, it was that observational stuff, and he's like slightly dry with his delivery and this and that, and I just
gonna fuck with that one.
Yeah, I really liked it. I really, really did.
So before my phone died here, which I'm sorry, I didn't chime it out to.
It's okay. We're going a little long. Yeah.
Yeah, but what do you usually ask me? Oh yeah, where can you find me?
Yeah, Renato, where can people find you on the social media?
Oh, it's funny you ask. Renato_Laranja on Instagram, and from there, don't worry, I'm gonna guide you to all the rest of the stuff. I'm gonna put you onto blackpeoplemeet.com, JDate, all my profile. God, like
cinnamonlovers.com,
cheeks.com.
Late nightbooty.com.
All that good stuff. Hillshire Farmers. Hillshire Farmers only.
Hillshire Farmers only.
Oh, I have that one. And guess what? I'm the only guy on that one. Oh, caralho. Oh.
You got the summer sausage. You got the kielbasa.
I've got summer sauce. Now this season I come with like what's the applewood smoke one or whatever. It had to have a warm, some notes of mulling spice and stuff like that.
Right. Pretty soon you're gonna give a turkey one with some rosemary.
You're gonna gobble on that one. Oh, porra. And I'm not gonna pardon you. I'm not gonna pardon that turkey. You're gonna have to deal with that one. You're gonna have to carve that one. Oh, porra.
Okay, just don't. Yeah. As long as I'm basting. What did you say?
Oh, baste.
If it's well basted, it's just.
They say people is baste, but I'm gonna baste you with something else. On the social. Baste you. Oh no, the turkey host you. Oh, no, wait, the turkey stuff you. That's what it was. The stuff.
The turkey's gonna stuff you. Yeah.
Enough about that. So I guess that's it. We don't need.
Yeah. So on the social media, I'm at KB Heat on Instagram. Karyn Bryant on YouTube and Twitter. It's Karyn. Bryant as in Kobe, no relation, but may he rest in peace. You can find all the shows on Fistivities.com and YouTube. This is episode 55. Dustin Jacoby was our guest earlier. If you guys tuned in late, you missed. We spent about an hour with Dustin, found out about his fight coming up with Khalil Rountree, a former guest of ours. Got like the story on his like start in MMA, his glory kickboxing, stuff like that. So if you missed any of the interview with Dustin, go back and check it out. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher. Tell your friends about us. I will say, Renato, one great thing. I love the community that we're building here. People are into it, and we have a lot of regulars that we totally appreciate. And if I didn't get to everybody with a comment, I'm sorry, but really appreciate everybody. But like, I do love that everybody's like, oh man, this is great. Like, I can't believe I just found this, or I wish I knew, or whatever. So if you just are getting here for the first time, please explore some of the back catalog, because we really do have so many great shows with a lot of really great fighters.
That, and also the main thing is just share the fucking thing with other people. And would it kill? A lot of people say, oh, don't stop doing this. Don't stop doing that. Well, we can't guarantee that. What we can guarantee, what's going to help that is we don't have a machine behind us promoting us. So the promoters is you guys. So if you value the show, and you like that it's free, caralho, not for nothing. Just what's it cost to put a fucking a post? We post about this show every week. How about your payment for this, since it don't cost nothing for It's just pay by saying, hey, this show, find a clip, show to your friends, post that one and say, fuck, this show is fucking funny. Or this show is informative, whatever. And Karai, did you know about this one? Follow on blah, blah, blah.
Add to your stories. Add to your thing. Like you said, Renato's always putting out funny clips. We got promos and things. Just be like, yeah, I love this show on Tuesdays. Check it out.
You know what's even easier than that? Just he story, my story.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, share to your stories or whatever. Just hit share to my story or whatever.
I did all the editing. I put the fucking music. It's already done. Do it. Because I don't pick any boring clips. The shits you friends probably gonna like that one because you're like-minded or whatever. So
exactly.
This thing, some of the shit that I did in the past didn't exist because the people who loved it. But then it can only go so far when it don't have a ground, a swag, a wide.
It's true. Well, and like you said, because we don't have this is my channel. Like, we are independent. Basically, for folks who don't realize it, granted, a lot of people have podcasts now and they're starting their smaller ones, but like the bigger podcasts, they're they all have a big multinational corporation behind them, amping them all the time, buying ads on Instagram, buying ads everywhere. Like, all we have is yours and my social media. That's it.
And here's another great thing too, that probably you're checking as a viewer, listener, you're checking for grants right now. You don't ever have to fast forward to any bullshit commercials. We literally haven't been making people listen to no fucking commercial. And we could bore you fucking guys like, I mean, we love some of the podcasts we listen to, we really enjoy, like fucking Smartless. Every 5 seconds I gotta fucking go through those goddamn commercials, you know?
Yeah, I will say, Renato, there might be some ads that pop up here on YouTube, but I always make sure I say don't do the non-skippable ads. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like, but yes, you're right. We don't have like these sponsors. We don't take a break. We don't step away for 3 minutes. We don't, whatever. It's like you and I are here. If there's an ad, it's only because it's automated by YouTube.
I guess what I mean is we don't sit here and go,
right.
Hey, guess what?
Right.
You know, mattresses.com. Oh, God.
Totally. We don't take a 10-minute break to sell you some crap.
Yeah. You know, you don't got to listen to that bullshit. And then you get to look at these ones here.
I was just gonna say, I mean, you know,
like the sexy and
yeah, and I'm just gonna let everybody know, and maybe Renato, how about this? Why don't you just answer? Why don't you answer this? There's a couple of people saying they want your old show back.
Okay, so about that, and I don't blame you because it's a different style. It's a whole different thing. It's a sketch comedy show / late night show, whatever. I understand. Right. I used to tell you true. What people don't realize is those things you take money and take a lot of doing because you can't do it.
But at least they're evergreen.
Yeah, and I love that. And one day I'll do some stuff like that. But you gotta realize, just like I was saying, shit like that was very difficult with no goddamn money because here's the hawk and the hard place what I was dealing with. If I want to stay as blue and as un-PC and raw and unadulterated and also as off the cuff, the sponsors will, a lot of them won't allow that stuff, the big ones, okay? And then what happens is they want to control. And I did have big people, and I'm not going to even get into the ones that wanted to do the show, very big stuff, and they wanted to cut my balls off. So in the interest of staying true to what I do, I had to turn down a lot of the big money because they was going to fuck up because it become a deal with the devil. Then what people liked about it is gone. And then what's the purpose? But
yeah, you don't want to get neutered.
But in not having the money, then I didn't have the money to fly in guests and put them up and do all that kind of stuff. But then you can't ask the professional fighters to fly themselves in and all that. So then what you had is we had to rely on when someone happened to be in the LA area. And then, you know, they doing us a solid by coming in there. And then what happened in that situation? Well, they only here because they're doing other media. They're doing other stuff for the UFC or whatever the fuck. And then they have to cancel or reschedule, and then fuck up the cameraman and this and that and the other stuff. And it became such a fucking headache and such a fucked up deal and so hard to do that it became untenable, you know?
I understand. It's a shame. It's a shame.
I do one day, hey, I might, but listen, check it easy because we can't compare. That is apples and laranjas is because this is a fucking podcast / radio show / whatever.
Yeah.
Different. This is the format where we co-host and we're going back and forth and talking about stuff. That was like almost like a hybrid sketch comedy show / between two ferns, you know what I mean?
Two ferns, exactly. Yeah.
Totally different thing. This is not the he's and I'm not doing that. One, I can do this.
Right. This didn't cancel that one out. It's not right. Exactly.
We don't want to say, oh, well, you're doing this. How come you don't do that? This is another thing. And this is much easier. This is doable. We can do this without a bunch of money. So this is why we do. We don't even have to. We live in the same city. We don't even have to be in the same fucking home to do this. Mwah. Okay. So just be thankful that this has happened. And one day you're probably gonna get some more produced stuff or movies or all kind of fucking shit. Just check it easy and enjoy this one. Okay.
Take it easy.
Yeah, and I get it, and I'm flattered, and I love that people love that show, and guess what? I fucking love that show too, and I loved doing that one. Anyway.
Cool. Well, people are just saying they appreciate it, they love it, it's funny. I've actually done some funny things too. If you're looking at this on YouTube.
Let's not get carried away. We was talking about your Uncle Henach got on you.
But I was just gonna say, if you're seeing this on YouTube, and you're a fight fan, I got a ton of stuff here on my channel from like the last 10 years and stuff
We
like that.
breaking
So
up. We
poke
breaking
around.
up.
But we got to wrap it up. But anyway, yes. So I will show everybody where to find us. But yeah, Fistivities.com, YouTube /Karyn Bryant. We're on his Twitch. We're on my Twitter, Apple Podcast, Spotify, not iHeartRadio, sorry, Stitcher, and Amazon Music. This was episode 55. Last week's guest was Chito Vera, which was really, really fun.
Right.
So go back and check out Chito. But as we said, there's a lot of fights coming up this weekend. Cub Swanson's fighting Cubs, a former guest of ours. Khalil Rountree, Dustin Jacoby's opponent, is a former guest of ours. So you can go back and look at all these. So plenty of great shows for people to check out. So lots of Renato material here for your consuming, people.
Now we're talking. Great. I like where your head is at. Cut out.
Whatever. Maybe
Now
I was wearing a low-cut blouse every now and then too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
some more, and you could show your cheeks some more, to be honest, frankly.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Ciao. Ciao to my public. Mwah, I love you all. Mwah, 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 mwah.